This content is not suitable for children. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome back to another exciting episode of Pokemon D&D Wundoro Adventure. Yeah, we're all back together again for the second time. Hopefully, this will last for a little while.
Hopefully.
Hopefully everybody out there is keeping safe and healthy in this time of tumultuous change and progress, hopefully. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is another exciting Monday. You guys got anything exciting going on?
No. I am exhausted. That's about it.
Video games. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to report. I beat Chapter 1 in Witcher.
There you go. That's something. Okay.
Yeah, makes me sound so productive.
Thank you to all the people who make this possible. So that's Kevin McLeod at incompetech.com for the music he produces.
Salvador, there's a reason.
What you hear here right now. Thank you to Mikkel_Beats for the Pokemon Chill soundtrack that I'm very much enjoying using. Thank you to Allison at the Lighter Arts on Twitter for the character tokens that we've been using as of late. And thank you to Joe the DM, again on Twitter, for the Pokemon 5e homebrew.
Heck yeah.
If you'd like to play likewise, you got your own table, you got your own group, hit them up at www.pokemon5e.com. All the stuff is there, including links to the phone app and various one-offs and campaigns and stuff that you can play with. Lots of material now, and that community keeps churning out lots of stuff. So, that about it?
Yeah.
Easy. Okay. So I think we've had both of you already do some openings, so I might as well do this one.
Sweet.
When last we left off, you guys made plans. You checked the job board in Haventown, discovered that there was going to be a tournament aboard a ship setting sail down in the south of Wundoro. However, you needed 2 gym badges to be able to attend and participate.
Which we didn't figure out until later.
Yep.
Likewise, you also discovered that there is a active job right now that is happening at Make-A-Wish Lake, a bit of a natural crisis in which some non-native Pokemon, Basculin, have been discovered in the lake, and a reward is offered for each specimen that is captured and sent to the Pokemon Professor.
Goddamn Basculin.
So you guys made a plan and headed up that way to Serene City.
Interfered with.
Yeah, you did. On the road, you first met a Rosalia.
Yes.
Rosalia. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
I think it's Rosalia.
That's how I've always said it, because it's Rose, but then it's almost spelled like Rosalia.
I don't
know. You defeated it. Moved on to the next day with a bit of rain. The clouds ahead spelled doom. You came across a couple trucks trading product and a couple shady individuals that you had met once before at a Pokedonald's. 2 of them revealed to you that they were agents, supposedly, for the Wundoro Federal Service. And you left somewhat amicably. After freeing the 2 truck drivers from their bonds, one of them offered you a ride to the next town.
Did we ask, or did he offer?
He offered.
Okay.
Yeah.
He legitimately offered after we didn't, cut him out of his zip ties right away.
Okay.
To which you accepted, and you guys headed your way on. Shortly after entering the next town, Serene City, not being as serene or as pretty as you might have imagined, you came across Molly, a young, a little older than Brooke, Pokemon trainer, with her own sort of chill attitude. She challenged you guys to a Pokemon battle, and
we lost.
You lost. But she was pretty chill. She enjoyed her time with you, and she offered to walk you to the Pokemon Center and possibly even head out to the docks later to watch the sunset over Make-A-Wish Lake.
Yeah.
And as you guys headed deeper into the city, the rain came to a stop. You guys made it to the Pokemon Center. You gave up your Pokemon to be healed.
Yes.
Molly decided she was going to take a nap, and you guys headed to the job board. And that's where we left you.
Yeah. Because there was many a job that you didn't want to probably just improv.
Oh, don't worry. I am absolutely ready for you.
Now, probably.
Let me show you.
In those.
Yep.
So we
Moving
read the
crew.
top two. Yeah.
Job for Pokemon trainer with competent team to assist with offloading furniture and such in a new home. Job will be labor intensive and require a degree of finesse so as to not to damage any of the older pieces. That's a pretty good pay.
Yeah, that is.
It's a 1,200 Pokebucks.
Reporting to a Ted Barnes at 203 Umber Crescent.
Lots of these seem high paying, actually.
I like it. Morel Mushroom Hunt. Good day, Pokemon trainers. I need someone to assist me in collecting mushrooms from the park. I promised my mother a very specific soup, but have come up short trying to find morel mushrooms in the local grocery store, and I'm not much of a forager. I know you trainers
You'd
are
be good
far
at that,
worldlier.
Jackson.
Maybe. I didn't deal with mushrooms a lot. It was mostly flowers, but
Yeah, but you keep us always traveling fast.
that's fair. Yeah,
It's gotta count for something.
Yeah. You trainers are far worldlier than I, and I'm sure I'll have better luck with your help. I'm offering... Oh, I should probably go to it on here, too. I'm offering 1,000 Pokebucks for the chap that comes to my rescue. For Penelope.
Seeking models for still life session. A group of local artists are looking to book a Pokemon trainer and their Pokemon for a 3-hour session of life drawing. Note, we are in discriminating?
A discerning
Okay,
collective.
I can't read the screen. Collective, and not just any Pokemon will do. We reserve the right to deny any applicant that can't provide a Pokemon that suits our taste. That's a little picky.
Yeah, they are artists. Temporary general laborers / seeking. I've had a sudden influx of jobs that I don't see lasting and need some general laborers for 2, maybe 3 days worth of grunt work. This will include heavy lifting, digging, painting, demolitions, and minor support of the other trades. Days are 10 hours long, and I'll pay 1,500 end of each shift cash. Shift starts 7 a.m. sharp, perfect for backpackers or traders who won't be sticking around but need to make a quick buck. Applicants can apply at the work site office on the corner of Pelipper and Main. Ask for Raj.
So, given the general crowd that is here, the number of Pokemon trainers that are seeking jobs, you get the sense that you're probably only going to be able to grab 2 of these flyers before the rest are snatched up or taken from you. So, essentially 1 each.
I don't know, Jackson. Which ones do you think are best?
Which ones pay the most?
I think the
bottom one pays the most.
The bottom one and the top one, the moving crew and the temporary laborer.
Which one do we want to do? If you take temporary laborer, Ziggy can dig.
Yeah, we'll grab temporary laborer as
And
one.
I'll grab moving crew.
Okay. The 2 noted. And just like that, as you grab that, you guys are kind of muscled out of the way as a number of other trainers move in, looking to make some money while they are stopped in here at Serene City.
This is a really busy place.
This is not what I'm used to at all.
Yeah, I mean, there was always a lot of people on, the rescue, but not like this. We all knew each other.
Not so used to being around complete strangers all the time.
not mass numbers of strangers that are like shoving to look at stuff.
Fair.
You hear the sound of sirens suddenly, and you turn to see the doors whip open. Two Pokemon, one appears to be a Wigglytuff, another appears to be a Chansey, are running a stretcher in. Behind them, flashing lights as the doors close. They run up to the front desk, and one of the attending staff points them to another back door, and they rush off. On top of it, a very hurt-looking Pokemon, it's covered in a white blanket that is already sopping with some viscous red liquid. The door opens to the back room, and they rush out. The sirens slowly fade afterwards, and you hear something pull away from the front of the building.
What happened? Like, that was crazy.
Did it get hit by a car or something?
Did anybody see what happened to that Pokemon?
A gentleman with a trilby is sitting on one of the benches. He is currently feeding a small bug-like Pokemon with a big spike on the top of its head. And he turns over and he says, "Yeah, terrible. About a block down. Saw it got, I don't know, hit by a car in a crosswalk."
Happen often?
Big city life.
Shame.
Well, I've seen Pokemon hake worse, so.
Stay close, Liam.
Liam kind of moves one step closer to your leg.
Same to you, Billy. Although I don't know how much a car would destroy a piece of rock.
Billy just kind of cocks his head to the side.
Yeah, I think the car might take more damage than Billy.
Let's hope we don't have to find out. Exactly.
I mean, he's sturdy-ish.
He's also very clumsy.
Yeah.
He literally has the ability sturdy.
Yeah. So even if the car hit him and did over half his health and damage, he would still only take half of it.
Good to know. Between you guys shoving through here, generally looking at everything around, there's tons of posters and whatnot that are for general health and wellness. You know, after a long day of Pokemon battling, it's good to care for your Pokemon with antibiotics, make sure their wounds are taken care of. Lots of posters saying wash your hands, and to mind staff in the waiting room. As you're sort of reading these, a trolley is rolled out, and a Chansey hands both of you a set of Pokeballs. It's unclear how this Chansey realizes which Pokeballs go to who, but they seem to have gotten it. The trolley continues to roll on, stops at a couple other people, and then stops at Molly, who wakes up very suddenly, rubs her eyes. Oh, thanks, dude. And takes her Pokeballs. The Chansey moves on.
So, are we going to the dock or whatever now?
Molly sort of scratches her nose and she says, "Yeah, that sounds nice. I don't have anything else I'm doing, and I feel good after my nap."
Makes sense. Naps are good.
Wish I took a freaking nap today. Oh my god.
Alrighty. Well, now I'm kind of scared to have too many Pokemon out, so I guess we'll wait till the lake and watch the sunset.
Yeah.
In the meantime, stay close, Liam. This
Liam,
city
again,
is
touches your leg.
a lot bigger than I expected.
You guys walk towards the front door, and as you step out, Molly pulls another Pokeball from her hip, and she tosses it into the air once before she drops it on the ground, and she says, "Come on out, buddy. It's been a while. I know, you were hurt." And this small, purpley colored, armored flying bat type Pokemon pops out. It is bigger than Liam, smaller than Billy. It's got a scorpion-like tail that comes off the back, a pair of serious eyes and little fangs that stick out. It sticks its tongue out at her, and then it flaps over and flies between the two of you. sort of inspecting you curiously. And she says, "Hey, dudes, meet Gligar."
Nice to meet you, Gligar.
Gligar flies right up to you, and it actually like suctions itself to your face, wrapping itself around like a face hugger.
I've seen this in a movie before. I'm not a fan.
That is back. Like, hello.
Yeah,
friend.
Gligar just he likes to say hi like that. He's friendly. He wouldn't hurt a fly.
Hi, Gligar.
Without letting go, he looks over at you and he sticks his tongue out.
I'll give him some scritches.
He's got a hard carapace, so it's not like the soft fur of Riolu or some of your other Pokemon. It's more like a pat, pat, pat.
You stole my face.
Very much so.
I go.
Raspberry.
Yeah, on his tummy.
He lets go and he flaps back and he sits on top of Molly's shoulder. As he does so, you notice how heavy he really was. It's like taking off a big hat after a long day.
He's heavier than expected.
She laughs. Yeah, this guy comes from the hills out by my place.
Your first Pokemon?
No, Wurmple was Dusty.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, but Gligar was my second. Yeah, he's pretty chill. He's a good dude.
He's got a sense of humor.
He's just really friendly. He wouldn't hurt nobody.
No, I didn't think you would. It was just a shock. Haven't been greeted by another Pokemon trainer's Pokemon like that before.
It's I mean, you meet all kinds out here. I've met some weird and wonderful different guys. I mean, you get into the Pokemon training for the love of Pokemon, right? And maybe the love of the open road, but always Pokemon first. And,
Of course.
You know, I like meeting other people's Pokemon, and I found other trainers like to swap stories and swap, Pokemon, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, when we get to the lake, I guess you'll see our whole crew.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm out. I'm down.
I mean, with the exception of the ones that are with the professor right now, anyway.
Yeah, I suppose. Ooh, wait, hang on.
With the
Speaking of,
professor, you have a patron?
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
Professor Larch.
yes.
We call her Professor Larp, so it can get confusing.
Wow, the Pokemon professor of Wundoro. Cool.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome.
She is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's wow. You must know somebody.
No,
Not really in Wundoro.
Huh? I mean, you gotta have some sort of connections. Not just anybody gets in with the Pokemon professor.
I don't know. Maybe it was because of my parents. I don't know.
I don't think I have any connections.
Okay. I suppose you're just being modest. That's
Does
cool.
she really
I
not
get
just
it.
take on anybody?
No.
Oh, that's kind of what I assumed.
No.
Well, Jackson,
I mean,
I kind of assume it's my parents. Who would it be for you?
I have no idea. I don't remember anything. I remember jack shit.
Do you think it was maybe your wife?
oh, you have a wife? That's cool.
Had a wife.
Oh, I'm sorry, dude.
Oh, it's okay. You didn't
my
know.
bad.
You didn't know. It's fine.
Condolences.
I mean, it could have been, but I don't know when she would have sent the letter. It would have had to have been before the hospital.
You really don't know, huh?
No. Gets memories every now and then.
Yeah. Kind of didn't remember I had a wife until like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, dude, all the weed. My parents always said that if I did too much, it really affects your memory. And, I didn't really listen to them, but, the way I saw you smoke the other day and, You know, I could tell you've done it before, so...
I appreciate it, but that was my first time.
Oh, I guess...
It's just an age thing.
I guess my parents were wrong then. Cool.
Only
Awesome.
one way to find out.
You guys are continuing to walk down the street.
Keeping a close eye on Liam and, like, strangers and cars.
You were in the downtown core of Serene City, and it is busy, but it is far more picturesque down here. The architecture of the buildings, the way that their glass sides shine off the light and off the lake. The lake is visible from any road that stretches that way. Basically, the core butts onto the edge of the lake, and you can see from here a fairly large beach. A big pier, a boat dock a bit further down. And as you get even closer, there is this great big dome-like building. It stands out clearly from any of the other buildings around here. It's in the same way that if you were in Australia looking and you saw the Sydney Opera House, right? It clearly stands out as something other than a place of business. It is mostly glass, though you can't see through the glass itself. It's reflective outwards. And there's a number of steel beams that kind of curl around it, almost giving the impression of a yet-to-blossom flower, or like a bud.
Is that the gym?
Molly looks over. She says, I guess. Yeah, that could be it.
What else would it be?
Fuck if I know. Seems about right.
Is there any other Pokemon trainers walking by? Or random people that look like they know what they're doing here?
There are a ton of people who are walking around who look like just regular Joes. A gentleman walks by. He's got a small brown and white bird on his shoulder.
Excuse me, sir?
Yeah.
Is that the gym?
Oh, that's the one.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Only one here in Serene City.
Unexpected that it kind of looks like a flower bud?
Oh, why would it be? Unexpected.
I don't know. I think Jackson and I kind of jumped to the conclusion it was a water gym.
Oh, well. I mean, as well go take a look for yourself.
I suppose.
Yes, we will be. Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Continues walking on, waving back at you guys.
Not a water gym.
Or just a very weirdly decorated water gym.
Maybe.
Maybe it's supposed to be a water lily.
Perhaps. I guess that would make sense.
Aren't there like underground or underwater flowers or stuff like that?
I mean, there's coral and stuff.
Sure.
And I guess you could call some of the life down there plant-like.
Well, I don't know what else you would call it. Like it's colorful and planty.
Seaweed.
Oh, you would know
and
more
like,
about that.
Probably. You know, seaweed and that sort of thing.
I suppose so. But he just made it sound like it wasn't. Now I'm excited. Kind of intrigued.
Oh, it looks fucking awesome though.
Does.
Looks interesting,
And
that's for sure.
stressful. Can you just keep taking on the gym if you fail?
Oh, yeah, why not?
Because I've never done it before.
Oh, I want to see this. Yeah, it's fun. It's different. It's
How many Pokemon
different.
get to fight?
As far as I know, that's, up to the dude. Whatever the leader says, gym rules. From what I hear, it's different from gym to gym, really. They'll trade it up, challenge you.
Jackson
whatever it
and I
is.
didn't take on the one back in Brambletown.
No, we kind of skipped past it.
We
Oh.
didn't feel prepared.
Oh, that's what you meant. Well, okay. That's cool. I get it, at your own pace, whatever you want. Not everybody starts in Serene City, but yeah, I've heard different. Sure.
So this lake, like really big.
She motions in front of her. Yes, it is very big. It is the single largest lake in Wundoro, which you can see from any map. And it's glistening right in front of you. You can tell that the beach is done up to be touristy. So it is a mix of a white, obviously unnatural sand, something that has been shipped in for tourist purposes. But you can also see as the water laps up onto the shore, it continually pushes up black silt. It gives you the impression of like lava rock.
Ah.
I wonder if that means it's warm. Are we like really close?
You're pretty close, yeah. At this point, you're basically standing like on the road that travels parallel to where the beach would be. It's just a small rope sort of fence, and then climbing over, you're at the lake itself. Right now, it's not busy at all. In fact, there's lots of puddles, and it's generally damp and wet. There's a very, very, very low mist that is still coming off the lake. But the sun's shining over it because it's about 5 o'clock now, and the clouds are really just sort of parting and clearing. It wasn't a time for people to be out.
Molly, do you know why there'd be like black soot that looks like volcanic something?
I don't know if the volcano maybe.
Is
Does
it
that mean the
volcano?
water's warm?
We can find out.
'Cause, yeah, Mount Flag. It's dormant, but it's old volcano.
Spent a lot of time swimming in the ocean. Ocean's not always warm.
Oh well, I haven't taken a dip in the lake yet. Could be warm.
I know we have to catch Pokemon here after we make some money and get like fishing rods and stuff, but we should come back and build sandcastles with the Pokemon.
Have a beach day?
F&A,
Yes!
yeah.
Would you come with us, Molly?
Oh, sick. Yeah, I'm down for that.
Wait, why don't we just do that right now? What else are we doing tonight other than waiting for the sunset?
What time is it?
It's about 5.
Oh my god. Okay, we have the whole afternoon then. Or the whole evening. Let's do it now.
Beach
Cool.
day!
Yeah. Molly climbs over the
I thought it was a
little.
lot later.
Molly climbs over the little rope fence, and she starts walking towards the water. As she gets closer, she stops and sits down in the wet sand. She pulls off her large boots and puts them off to the side, and then she steps into the water itself, wiggling her toes. The Gligar flies sort of around her head and flies downwards towards the big dock that stretches off into the water for a bit, and then it circles back towards her. Liam is sort of patting around in the sand a little bit, looking about.
Do you want to see if the water is warm? I'm going to see. And then as I get close to the water, I'll put my bag and my jacket and take my shoes off.
Okay. You put it down sort of close to where Molly took off her shoes, and you step into the water.
Is it warm?
It's not cold, but it's not maybe as warm as you imagined. It's not a hot spring by any means.
Still warmer than the ocean.
Mm-hmm. And it's a lot warmer than the creek that you fell into a while back, the river.
Jackson, it's a lot warmer than the river was.
Oh, thank God. And I'm going to step forward. Take off my shoes in the same spot as them. And put my bag down and everything. And just roll up my pant legs.
Okay. And you step in. Billy does not follow you. He's doing his best to avoid the puddles on the beach. And he looks very unsure.
It's okay, Billy.
I don't know if it's okay for him. I know when he was smaller, the Pokedex said if he got too wet, he would literally die.
No, I mean, he doesn't need to come in, but he can, like, stay with the stuff and play in the sand.
Yeah, if you want to do that, you can, Billy.
He moves over to where all the stuff is, and he looks down and looks around and looks back at you guys, and then he sits down in the sand. And he starts just playing with the sand around him, basically digging in his big branch-like hands and picking sand up and then over to the other side. Woo, woo, woo.
Now, is this like in the Pokemon universe where they just have the Pokeballs on their belts, or are they like are we pulling them out of our bag whenever we're tossing them?
It depends on where you think you keep them.
Brooks are probably in her bag.
Yeah, you've seen some people who keep them on like cords. You've seen other people who have belt holders. I don't think you guys ever specified, so I kind of assumed that you always had them in your bags or your pockets.
All right, now I'm gonna go back up to my bag. I'm going to grab the rest of my Pokeballs.
Okay.
That I've got there, and I'm gonna let out everybody.
Okay. Who all do you have with you right now?
I have Billy, Angus, Maui, and Belle.
Okay. Billy, Angus, Maui, and Belle. Belle does little crooked wanderings around the beach. She seems to be a little less concerned about the puddles and whatnot, and is splashing about a little bit, finding that she doesn't enjoy it, and then digging her feet into a drier spot, shaking off, and then continuing to move on. Mostly oblivious to you guys and what's going on, but just wandering happily.
Yeah.
Maui is moving towards the water. She walks up to it. It touches her toes, and she freezes and looks at it, and she reaches down and sort of splashes a little bit with her little hands, and looks around and looks back at you, and she sits down right where the water ends, and starts sort of playing with the sand and the water and digging little ditches and burying the ends of her feet, her little toes in the sand. Mostly just experimenting and looking around and experiencing everything that is here. She seems, by all accounts, happy, or at least contented.
Perfect.
Angus is running around. He does a 20-foot sprint in one direction, stops, scratches behind his ear, looks around to see if anybody's looking, struts a few more feet forward, and then takes another run. And he goes almost to like the edge of your sight down one end of the beach, and then he starts running back the other way, stops and looks around a little bit, and then runs down the other. Just taking, he's taking as much leash as you'll give him.
Perfect.
I probably only went like ankle deep in, and then I'm gonna turn.
Ryulu is standing next to you, but it's basically coming up to his knees.
So he did come in.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's let everybody else out, and then I'm gonna go for a quick swim. You gonna come with?
Ryulu nods.
Okay. I'm gonna go let everybody else out.
Okay.
So I have Ryulu, Chimchar, Meowth, and Electric.
Okay. Both Chimchar and Meowth aren't super fond of the water. Meowth hangs out further from the water than anybody else, even further back than Sudowoodo. And she doesn't run around like the others. She just kind of sits there and watches as you go further out into the water. You can see her craning her neck to see where you are. And you can hear her go, "Meow."
I'm not going out yet. Knowing that Keegan and Sassy and probably Axel all don't want to go in the water, I'm gonna first sit and try and encourage them to like build a sandcastle.
Axel largely paid you no mind. He sees Angus and he's gone.
Oh yeah, they're just running around on the beach like shits.
Yeah, largely running around. Anytime that Axel catches up to Angus, he tackles him, and the two of them roll around for a little bit, get covered in sand, shake themselves off, and then they take off again.
Stay close, but have fun.
You too, Angus.
Just stay where you can still see me.
They're really pushing it. Like they head off almost as far as you can see this little green blip in the far distance. You see a little spark, and then they come running back the other way.
At least they have fun. They hated each other at first.
Oh, maybe they were just playing.
Maybe.
And we just
misread
completely
the
misinterpreted.
Maybe they're brothers.
Maybe they're like best friends.
And Chimchar is over with Sudowoodo, over with Billy at this point in time, as Billy picks up sand and sort of drops it and then pats the ground. The small chimp Pokemon inspects the sand that it just laid down and digs a little hole, and then watches as Billy picks up another handful and sort of swats it out of the air.
Okay. And then
And dances around under the sand.
I'm gonna walk over to my stuff because wet blue jeans suck. I'm gonna take off my blue jeans.
Okay.
Before I go swimming.
Okay. Brooke is just in her panties.
Well, probably like shorts, like spandex shorts.
Okay.
She's a swimmer. She'd be ready to swim. And then goes running into the water.
Okay.
Once I've been deep enough, I'm just gonna go. To a starfish.
Molly likewise releases her Pokemon. You see her release her Dustox, and as it soars through the air like a kite, it hangs out maybe 40 feet above you guys and just glides on the wind, watching you. Every now and then it ducks down and does a bit of a circle around Molly and then goes back up. Her Gligar chases it a little bit, but sticks much closer to Molly. You see it hit the sand, and it gets itself comfortable. It sees what Billy is doing and sort of mimics it by picking up a little bit of sand with its small claw wings and drops it. It seems to be perfectly at home in the sand, like a scorpion. Then the last Pokemon she releases is one you haven't seen yet. It looks like an acorn, a small acorn with feet, and it waddles. Pretty toddler-like. Seeing Belle down at the other end of the beach, being the only other Pokemon really of that size, moves over to see what Belle is doing, and the two of them look at each other, sort of blink, and sit down in the sand.
Please don't.
It's almost like they're having some quiet conversation.
Does Liam come in all the way?
Liam goes up to his chest, and at this point, the water is rough enough that it's pushing him back a little bit, and he's almost like waiting right there.
I swim
Not sure of what to do.
back to him,
Okay.
and I try and teach him how to float on his back.
Okay. Give me a Pokemon handling check. As you come up to him and you're splashing a little bit, he's like, first roll of the night.
Oh, it's not great. 9.
A 9. He's very resistant. He's not entirely certain about what you're doing or all this water. He himself is seems to be a bit uncomfortable about being in any deeper than this. He doesn't strike you as a swimmer. Athletic, certainly,
Yeah.
but not a swimmer. And as you like try to put him on his back, he's near panic. And he flails.
No, it's so that you can float. I'll hold your back. Okay.
He doesn't want any of it. And as you sort of let go of him a little bit, he works his way closer to the shore where he can finally touch his feet again.
It's fine.
He shakes his head and his little ears spin off water on every side.
We can try again someday.
Oh.
The swimming buddy.
He just kind of hangs there in the water, enjoying just being up to his chest. Molly laughs and she pulls a small device out of her pocket. It's got this little wheel on it, and she takes out a set of little earbuds, and she puts one in one ear, sticks the end of the headphones into the bottom of it. She seems to be selecting something, and she puts it back in her pocket.
Okay, no more swimming. Jackson, want to build a sandcastle?
Sure.
Okay. Brooke's gonna run onto the beach.
Gather up all of the Pokemon that have fingers, that have phalanges.
There's only so
Or
many
at
of
least
them.
hand-like.
Yes, hand-like appendages.
So who does that mark? That's
Probably
Billy,
Maui,
Riolu,
Riolu,
Chimchar, and Meowth.
Chimchar,
Chimchar,
Meowth.
Keegan, Sassy.
Yes,
I
Keegan.
think that's everything.
Keegan
Everyone.
Michael Keys.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you describe what you are doing?
Making a sandcastle.
Yeah.
A little more specific than that.
Getting some of the wet dirt and bringing it back onto the stuff that's more dry and
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
trying to
dig a
shape
trench.
walls and stuff and making it like a moat.
Yeah.
I'm
And
gonna
then
make the most
dig a
kick-ass
little
sandcastle.
moat. I'm gonna assign Axel the job of trying to find a small bit of wood that we could use as a drawbridge. And Angus, tell them to go search the beach, but stay in sight.
Yeah. The two of them sort of nod, acknowledging what you're looking for, and the two of them take off.
And they bring back extra. We'll just I don't know, make a bridge.
Make a little flagpole.
Yeah.
If
move
they bring back
downwards
extra, we
towards
can
the
dig it a
pier.
little better.
We just start building.
Yeah.
Building and digging.
I'm trying to think of what,
And
what kind
showing-
of check this would be.
The Pokemon how to make walls and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like how to utilize the lightly dampened sand to sculpt it, and then it'll dry out and stay that way.
Let's call this a survival check. Will somebody lead the survival check?
Sure. Let me double.
Sandcastles are crucial
we
to
both-
survival,
You
right?
think yours is higher? Because you have yeah.
With advantage, you said, because we're all doing it all.
Yes.
That's a nat 20. Nat 20 and an 18.
Turns out you know how to build sandcastles.
Hell yes, I do. Got years of experience. I might not remember how to, but I can just do it intuitively.
Describe this sandcastle. What is this masterpiece of yours?
It's huge.
Pretty much. Just going for size.
Huge.
Making it big.
Obnoxious.
It looks like the Taj Mahal.
Oh, jeez.
With a
moat.
moat around it and
Little
a
drawbridge.
drawbridge.
That's brilliant. Yeah, and you guys have so many hands to help you between gathering sand and stuff to push up. All the while, Maui sits very much on the outside. There's a few moments where it looks like she's going to come in to help, and she puts her hand down and she just watches you curiously.
Come on, Mary, it'll be so fun.
She acknowledges you, but just looks back at the sandcastle slowly being built.
Did Sassy come?
Sassy is there.
I give her scrunches.
Yeah, she is weird. Like it's almost like she's trying to
She's a
help as
cat.
much as she can without getting her
There we
paws
go.
dirty.
Yeah, she's a typical cat.
You can see her sort of flick a little bit of
Yeah.
sand up and then lick her paw clean and then realize that it's not helping and sort of flick a little bit more up and pat it down a little bit and then lick her paw clean and then it's a constant sort of continuation of that cycle.
She probably loves how sandy her tongue is by the end of it.
Mm.
There's a point when Molly comes over and she joins in. Hey dudes, can I get in on this action?
Of course.
Oh, that's cool. That's oh, you've done this before, huh?
I guess so.
Life of experience, old man.
Sure. Experience I don't remember most of.
That's the more you say that, the sadder it is.
It's just the reality of my current situation.
So, like, what's the last thing you remember then?
Last thing I remember would be, getting on the bus and coming here.
Getting on the bus and coming here, really?
Yeah.
But I mean,
Okay.
you remember most of what we've done.
Oh yeah, I remember most of what we've done. Names
Just
notwithstanding. Just, yeah, before. New memories seem easier to maintain than the old ones.
Oh, how long have you been having these memory problems?
Ironically, I don't remember.
Okay, yeah, I guess that makes some sense. That's kind of sad, man.
Yeah. just means I get to relive the experiences when I do start to remember more.
That's cool. That's cool.
And cherish the ones that you discover again
Exactly.
more deeply.
Exactly.
Do you at least remember who was like your favorite band?
Oh, God. It's been a while since I've listened to music, actually.
Favorite
I'm just
song?
realizing. I don't know. Maybe some Poison? You know, every rose has its thorn?
Every rose has
Like,
its thorn.
dude, that's
Let's
like
make Poison canon in this world.
I
that's
was
like my
hold on.
dad's music.
But it's good music.
This is good music. Here, listen to this. And she holds up one earbud to your ear.
Okay.
She says, "This is Volbeat."
Yes.
She says, "They're not like my favorite, but they got a couple good albums. The last one is honestly one of their better ones.
Warriors Call?
This song's called Life is Despair. There, I'll turn it up. And as she does so, you hear
I want to see if that's
she's
an
like,
actual song.
"Yeah, man."
Oh, it totally is.
It's interesting.
She says, "I know it's not everyone's cup of tea."
No, I'm sure you just haven't listened to enough of it. Some of my siblings are a lot older than me, and I don't know, a lot of the hang out with a variety of crew, so you've probably heard most of it.
That's cool. That's
Just
cool.
not a lot of this.
Yeah, not much of a metalhead, huh?
Not necessarily metal.
As you guys are having this conversation,
Roll for metalhead.
Roll for metalhead.
18 is a metalhead, fuck it. Canon.
He was a young metalhead. The sandcastle is quickly taking shape. You guys have a really good technique led by Jackson, where the wet sand is applied over the dry sand like mortar. And as you build it up and up and up, it stays hard. The sun isn't beating down on you, so it's not drying up. And it basically turns into this 3-foot tall monstrosity. It is impressive in scale, but because of the number of hands that have gone into it, it varies wildly in design.
Hey, Molly, would you do me and Jackson a favor
Yeah.
and take a picture of us all together with our Pokemon in the sandcastle?
Oh, cool, man. Yeah, sick. Let's sure.
Like
you
get
guys
everybody
back there.
together, pose all like nerdy.
If you want to
Like,
get Gligar and all your guys, can you set the photo to a timer? We can
I
get a
don't
picture
know.
with Molly, too.
Yeah, do you know how to do that?
She
We honestly recently discovered we could take pictures.
She says, sure. What do you got?
Pass the Pokedex.
Okay, she takes your Pokedex. She says, "Oh, sweet. I've never seen one of these up close." Okay. Flips it over. Hits a couple buttons. Yeah, I think this is the camera app. Sure. Maybe no, that's Flash. Okay.
Also, welcome Spinner Dariados.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, sure. Perfect. Okay. And she moves a couple feet down the length of the beach. She kicks a little dirt out and builds a little shelf. She sticks it on there, and then she runs back to you. As she does so, she whistles, and the Dustox comes sailing down from the sky, followed by her Gligar, close in behind her, landing on her shoulder. The Acorn Pokemon comes waddling over and sets itself down
And for fun's
in the
sake,
sand.
I'm gonna say I obnoxiously pose like my figure. Like my sprite.
All the Pokemon slowly gather in. And as you're sitting there, waiting for the flash to go off, smiling awkwardly, Angus and Axel come running down the beach.
Get in the photo!
The two of them are carrying what is basically just a 2x4. But it's rotted, wet wood.
Perfect.
and they coming
They're gonna
straight
break the
for you.
sandcastle.
Yeah.
Can you give me a dex save?
No.
Nat 20 again?
Oh, one.
I've rolled
Not natural.
I've
Like,
rolled
after modifier.
2 nat 20s and 2 18s, and that's all I've rolled tonight.
Jackson manages to move out of the way, dodging swiftly as the two dogs basically run directly into the castle, one on either side of it with this length of wood. You get clotheslined right about the chest area and knocked backwards.
The chest?
Yeah.
Were they jumping?
Yeah.
Oh god.
Almost as if they were
They
going
tried
to
to
like
clear
jump
it.
into your arms. But it just shears the top half of the castle off, hitting
Does the
Billy, who's
camera
standing
catch
behind it, and
this
just goes boom.
obnoxious scene.
Yeah, it's just sand flying up, Jackson jumping backward, you getting
Right.
nailed in the stomach, the Pokemon falling everywhere, the two dog Pokemon looking very confused as to like why this suddenly went awry.
I somehow thought they were already with us.
Same.
And you end up in this big pile of sand and Pokemon.
I just lie on the ground laughing.
Same.
That really hurt.
A tongue licks your face.
I feel like I got hit by a truck.
I'm surprised I didn't.
Okay, Axel, next time don't use charge on me.
As everybody pulls themselves up, you hear the sound of something down the beach a little bit, slowly shuffling by. Go.
Does it sound like
Is
a
it a
human
person?
or a Pokemon?
You guys sort of turn your head, picking yourself up, dusting the sand off, and you see this. What's the best word to describe it? It is on 4 legs. It is large in that it clearly has a bit of bulk to it. It stands maybe 3 foot tall at its highest. It is got this very sleek pink fur to it that ends in a sort of white tip at the end of its longer tail. It looks over at you again, smiles with this sort of dopey, sleepy expression, yawns, rolls its eyes a little bit, and continues moving slowly down the beach.
Scurry down the beach real fast, grab my Pokedex, and point it at it.
Same.
Okay. You guys,
Like clambering and kind of tripping, stumbling.
you grab the Pokedex that was on the ground. The
Take a look at the
picture's still
picture,
showing
laugh.
there. You poke it or point it over at the Pokemon, and it takes a picture, and you go, "Oh no, no, no!" You change the function. The Pokeball whirls, and it comes up with a picture of this Pokemon, and it says, "Slowpoke, the dopey Pokemon. Slowpoke uses its tail to catch prey by dipping it in the water at the side of a river. However, this Pokemon often forgets what it's doing and often spends entire days just loafing at the water's edge."
And a Slowpoke on all 4s is like 3 feet tall. That's fucking terrifying.
That's huge.
That's like the table.
They're decently
Yeah.
big.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Does it seem to be wild? Don't know why I'm
You
asking
don't
in Jackson's voice when it's a meta
a
question.
trainer or anything. If you ask out loud, Molly sort of shrugs and says, "I don't know. I don't see anybody around."
I'm going to approach it with a ration slowly.
Okay. It doesn't seem to notice you as you get closer to it. It just keeps moving down the beach. Very slowly.
Hello?
Doesn't acknowledge you. Keeps moving.
Whistle very loudly at it.
You can see its ear twitch. And it looks over to you for a second. But keeps moving.
I'm going to go in
And
front
yawns.
of it with the ration and very obviously offer it up to it.
Okay. It stops as you offer the ration to it, and its nose moves so close to your hand that you feel its breath. Its front lip touches the edge of your hand, and it yawns again and looks at you. It has this very just woken up from a sleep sort of expression, kind of grumpy. It gives you one of these really dull looks,
Salve, you need to sit.
pushes your hand to the side, and
left.
keeps walking.
I'm gonna try to pet it.
Okay. It's almost like it doesn't even know you're there. You pet it, and it's soft in the way that I don't know, a longer,
Good boy.
wiry-haired dog is. It lays down flat to its body. You get the impression that it's probably made for water.
I don't know what the hell to make of this.
It's like kind of a lovable idiot. I'd feel bad about just attacking it.
Same. That's why I was just trying to be like, hey, I'm friendly, come with me. Didn't really work.
I don't know.
Do you have any ideas? It seems like it likes the water.
I have this image that as you're having this conversation, you're slowly trotting beside it.
Yeah.
It not paying you any mind and just continuing to loaf down the edge of the beach.
Don't know. I'm gonna try and lure it to the water.
How so?
I'll probably hold out a ration, kind of like in front of its face, and just kind of try to whistle or make calling type sounds because it responded to my whistle before, just to kind of focus its attention and try and lure it to the water.
It doesn't seem interested in the ration. Like, you put it basically in front of its face, and it just keeps moving as if your hand wasn't there, so it just pushes your hand away with its snoz. But when you whistle at it or chirp or anything like that, you can see its ear twitch and acknowledge that you're there. Its eyes move to look at you a few times, but it doesn't correct its course.
I wonder if it's like on a mission,
Maybe?
or it forgot its mission and is now just walking in a straight line.
Or it's just like the most chill Pokemon in existence.
I don't know.
Mary smiles, or Molly smiles. Cool.
Did we follow it?
Maybe?
I'm gonna go run back, grab my stuff, and just
Same.
like everybody.
Okay, you pick everybody else up. Molly says, "Yeah, what's happening? What are you doing?"
I'm kind of curious as to where he's going.
Yeah.
Or she.
If there's more of them, or if it's wild, or if it has an owner. I kind of want to boop it with the Pokeball to see if I can capture it, but at the same time, I'm oddly curious as to where it's going.
Cool. Yeah.
You want to come along? Or-
Sure. Sounds good. Yeah, one sec. And she pulls out her Pokeballs and recalls each of her Pokemon. She says, "Yeah, I mean, you're free to. I won't bother trying. I got nowhere to keep it anyways. It's all good."
Just picturing and listen to fucking Volbeat now. Just Hallelujah Goat playing in her headphones. They're not even shouty. You just can't understand him because he has a super, super thick Dutch accent.
Yeah.
And we'll follow after it.
Okay. It's not much of a chase. With a slow walk, a saunter, you keep up with this Pokemon. It is leaving a small trail where you see its tail dragging, and it just continues moving down the beach.
Liam, go in front of it and like wave at it or something. See if it acknowledges you.
Liam hustles forward a little bit. He stops and spreads his leg and puts out his hand, leaning down, sort of waves a little bit. I say leaning down,
He's
but it's
probably
large
up.
enough that he's
He's
not.
like,
He's basically standing there just like
How tall is
waving at
Liam?
it. Liam's only 2 foot.
So he's looking up at it.
Yeah, kind of.
Like,
Well,
hey!
its head, like its back, is
Oh, it's
about
like
the
3
tallest.
feet, but then
yeah,
the head
probably
its
slopes
head
down.
slopes down a
Arches,
little
like-
bit,
Yeah.
so they'd look pretty much eye to eye.
Do you have like a permanent murder mitten?
Yeah.
Always got one claw out. There's a cat on the couch, in case you're wondering what I'm talking about. I'm not just looking at Melissa going like, do you permanently...
Yeah, I wasn't screaming at Matt earlier not to touch me. It was my cat.
For the first time, the Slowpoke actually course corrects. Liam is standing there firmly, sort of waving and ready for this thing to like walk into him. And it slowly makes a semicircle around him, and Liam watches it go.
It's kind of weird.
Pats its side a couple times, and it just keeps moving.
I thought maybe it would respond to another Pokemon,
Maybe. Well,
but apparently not.
Keeps going.
I don't know why this is like the most fascinating thing to happen. Today, at least.
I mean, because it's a Pokemon we've never seen before, and
It's behaving in ways that we've never seen Pokemon behave.
yeah, like, I mean, Maui was kind of alarming when we met her.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Bonsley were kind of weird when we met them, but
If by
They all
weird you
were,
mean
like,
cute as heck.
curious about us, or like in some way engaged. Like, this one barely cares.
Yep. Oh, bye, Ozzy.
Molly chirps up and she says, "Hey, maybe it's like the hippopotamus. We had this big Pokemon wander into town a few years back, back home, Dusty Roads, and it didn't seem to mind the people, and it just kind of hung out in town square. It would bury itself in the sand,
Kinda funny.
people would go about their business, and it would go about it, and I don't know. I guess it was just used to people, maybe living in proximity to people,
On the beach.
Oh, I
maybe
guess.
less fearful.
That makes sense.
Maybe it's just a real chill dude.
Maybe. I'm gonna look around and see if there's any more.
Sure, give me a perception check.
Yeah, I'll look around as well.
I
Screw
gotta
it.
stop rolling this dice.
Sure.
I'm gonna keep rolling these ones. Are you kidding? Oh no, that's a 12. Okay, so that's
Mine was just a 6.
I can't see it. A 13.
A 13 and a 6.
Yeah.
You don't. No, looking around, you guys are pretty much alone. Jackson, you hear a familiar sound, one that you've heard before, wandering around in the bush. The sound of something chirping, insect-like.
Cheep, chip, 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 chip. Like, oh, it's Jackson here, so never mind.
Familiar how?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Am I getting PTSD or am I getting excited?
Salvador.
Possibly neither. It sounds a lot like the cricketot that Brooke caught.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I'll slowly make my way towards where I hear the sound coming from.
Sure. Give me
This is
a
your
stealth
last
check.
chance.
Sure.
Last chance. Get up here.
That's.
You make the
I have
choice,
rolled
you
better
don't leave
stealth.
again.
So that's a 10 minus. Oh, hi, Salve. 10 minus 2 is 8.
He's being really needy. He's
minus
gonna
2
knock
is
my
8.
table over.
There are some fairly large tufts of grass that line the edge of the beach area here. You hear the chirping coming from one of those tufts of grass, and as you get closer, you're not nearly as adept at moving in this location as you were in the grasslands. This is unfamiliar territory to you, and you get within a distance that you may see what this creature is, and suddenly the chirping stops.
What'd you hear, Jackson?
I heard some chirping.
Like familiar or unfamiliar?
It sounded kind of like that one bug you caught a while ago.
The one that like I fed a ration to?
I feel like we feed rations to most of the Pokemon that we catch, so that doesn't
mean,
really narrow
true.
it down.
That is true.
Where the hell did we encounter Cricketot? Was it one of the ones that...
It was one of the ones in the tree. Was it like the one where like a Shuppet came in and screamed at a whole bunch and I chased around like the little like red bug with the little like black antennas?
I don't think it was that one. I can't remember what the hell a Kricketot looks like, actually. That is it? Okay. Yeah, it's that one.
Oh. Okay.
But the chirping stopped, and I don't know where it is now.
Oh. Does it look like the sun's gonna set soon?
It has probably been 2 hours now since you guys came down to the beach, going on 7, so not setting soon, but in the next hour or 2.
And there's like tall grass nearby.
A little bit.
Everybody
Mostly
knows that's
just
where you find Pokemon.
Exactly.
mostly just tufts by the edge of the road, between the road, the rope barrier, and the beach itself. The Slowpoke continues to move down the length of the beach, approaching where the sort of pier is.
Are there people on the pier?
You can see a couple people who are up and down the length of it. It's pretty high off the water, maybe 20 feet, just based on how the land comes down and it goes outwards. They're at the end. You can see one guy who's fishing, another couple who are just sort of watching the horizon.
What do you want to do? Do you want to go to the grass or follow the Slowpoke thing?
I'm kind of interested to see what he'll do at the pier.
Yeah.
But I'm also kind of interested to see if there's any Pokemon around here.
I will say, given your last perception check, beyond that chirping sound, which seems to have disappeared altogether, there does not appear to be any other Pokemon around.
Okay. Might as well follow the Slowpoke, I think.
Yeah, worst case we get to the pier, we watch the sunset at the pier.
Exactly.
You guys continue following it, and the Slowpoke actually continues underneath the pier, through the shadow, continues on the other side. It takes another half an hour, and not a long length of beach, to get to the jetty on the other side of that, where there's a number of boats. It appears at the moment that there's a few rental sort of paddle boats here, a couple fishing boats, nothing too much larger. The Slowpoke actually climbs up onto the wooden dock, walks its way all the way along the edge, again very slowly. It doesn't seem to be in any sort of rush.
Did he change
taking its
direction
time.
though
No.
to do this? Oh, okay.
Well, technically yes. So if he's walking parallel to the beach, he
Yeah.
would have climbed up onto the wooden dock and then moved down the length of it.
Why does his action seem so like purposeful?
Maybe he knows where he's going. Buddy.
Continues moving his way down until he gets to the very end of the dock. He stops and sort of sits down, shimmies his butt over to the end of
He's going
the
fishing.
wood and dips his long tail into the water. And then stares off into the water.
Is it fishing?
I don't know. I mean, it looks like that's what he's doing. It's an interesting behavior.
How far of a swim out would it be to, like, go back a little bit, go into the water, and then swim to where its tail is?
Maybe 50 feet.
I kind of want to see if it'll catch me.
You could
I'm gonna try it
just don't
against my better
don't
judgment.
drown.
No promises. Wait, I've got a lifeguard with me. I'm fine.
So what are you trying to do?
Brooke's her head a minute.
Just gonna like walk back out of its view and then go into the water,
Okay.
kind of under the docks, and then swim up to its tail and grab it like I'm a fish that it can catch.
Sure. First, give me sort of an athletics check to
I'm
see
gonna
how
watch
your
for
swimming
signs of
is.
swimming
Oh, hell yeah.
distress.
This is gonna go so poorly. That's a modified 3.
Wow. The water is not turbulent by any means, but you do find as you're actually getting out into the deeper area where you're not exactly touching, you're struggling enough that you have to propel yourself back towards the beach.
Are you humbly requesting pets?
He just
sir?
reached out and was like,
Damn.
It seems like an exercise in futility almost. Like
I-
you get so far out and you're like, and you start moving your way back in.
I thought this would be a funny idea, but I just suck at swimming.
I mean, if we want to test it that bad, I guess I could try. If Jackson wants to see if this Pokemon
Sure.
is fishing so bad, I will swim out.
Okay, you move down the length of the dock and you wade into the water and swim underwater.
I'm just gonna go and chill by the Slowpoke.
Under the water is beautiful. It is a silty black sort of beach. As you get further out, it
bottom.
turns rougher and darker into more and more lava rock sort of conditions. Watching the top of the water along the edge of the dock, you can see the light is fading a bit. It's getting a bit darker, but what stands out to you, and it almost looks like a worm, is this tiny little squiggly white tip that is wiggling around.
Is there anything like seeming attracted to it?
Give me a perception check.
Oh, it's 5.
Don't see anything. It's murky and dark, and with the light fading, even darker. Can't see too far under here, maybe 30 feet at most.
I'm gonna go over and like poke its tail.
Okay. It continues to twitch, but doesn't seem to change what it's doing.
Okay. Gently grab its tail.
As you do so, it sort of limps a little bit in your hand until you get a firm grasp on it, and then it slowly starts to try and pull you up.
I'm gonna let go.
Okay. The tail goes back up.
Let her get some away. That's confirmation.
Jackson, you watch from above, and you see the Slowpoke is just looking off into the water, its tail dangling over the edge of the dock. Then you see its head sort of move towards the water where the tail meets. And you see its tail pull up slowly. It look at the edge of its tail. And put its tail back in. Slowly.
You weren't strong enough for that one?
Doesn't even acknowledge you.
Unlike Sal, who's all up in my business.
And then I will come up onto the dock and pop out all my Pokemon.
Okay.
And
Oh,
go
pop out mine?
Sit on the dock to watch the sunset.
Okay.
When I get close to Jackson, I'm gonna go, it totally tried to fish me up.
Yeah, I didn't have the strength to
It
do it.
totally tried. I let go.
Oh, okay.
Molly laughs. What were you even trying to accomplish?
To see if it was fishing.
Okay. And was it?
Yeah. It tried to pull me up.
Cool.
So I let go so that it could actually fish.
And it did look very disappointed when it didn't catch anything.
Did it stick its tail back in?
It did.
I figured if it really was fishing, it probably was doing so for a purpose, so I probably shouldn't screw with it too much.
How sturdy does this dock look before I let out all of my heavy Pokemon?
It looks like it's well used, but also well maintained.
Okay.
All the boats here are in good condition. There is a little shack at the edge of it that says boat rentals. It's a maintained area. You figure you probably wouldn't have any problem dropping your Pokemon here.
Perfect. Let them all out.
Okay. Each of them appears on the dock. Angus notes the strange Pokemon at the edge of the dock and starts slowly walking towards it with its chest kind of pushed out.
Just don't start any shit. That sounds like starting shit. Angus.
Slowly starts to get closer to it. The whole time you see its feet sort of turn inwards a little bit more, so it's doing one of these as it gets closer to it.
Little shimmy shimmy.
And it moves till it's about maybe 5 feet away from the Slowpoke. And the Slowpoke looks over its shoulder. And then looks back at the water.
So unimpressed with Angus's display.
Sorry to bruise your ego, Angus, but I don't think it's interested.
Angus deflates a little bit.
I'll come and give him some scritches.
He accepts them lovingly. And he rubs against your leg a
sit
little
down
bit,
by
leaning
himself.
in harder.
I'm gonna pile all my Pokemon in close around me if they'll allow it.
Mostly, yeah. It's a little bit. It's a bit of a handful to collect them all.
I know.
But they do come closer.
But I mean, if I can have 2 5-year-olds sit on my lap for story time, I can have 2 small Pokemon.
Molly lets her Gligar back out, and she sits down and dangles her feet over the edge of the dock and into the water. And
I
she
like
puts her other headphone in.
2 Pokemon in my lap and 2 at my side.
I'm gonna try to do the same
If
thing.
they'll let me.
Yeah, they don't fight you,
Who
other
sits in
than
my
Liam,
lap?
who's a little. Keenan. Keenan?
Keegan. And who else?
Mostly just Keegan.
Okay.
Liam looks very
Put my
jealous.
arm around Liam.
Keegan is almost oblivious. Like, he's just sitting there, kind of looking around, not entirely certain, like, what you're trying to accomplish or what you're trying to do. He looks up at you, and he picks his nose a little bit, and then looks out towards the water.
We're gonna watch the sun. I
Picks
put
his nose.
my one
and,
arm around Liam, and then I give scritches with the other 3.
Okay.
Next to me.
Keegan wipes his booger on your shirt and keeps looking up at the sky. The color begins to change, and it turns to a purpley blue, to a purpley yellow, to a yellowy pink, to a reddy yellow. And it continues to go down.
I don't know what his issue is today.
Oh, I just give good scritches.
And it quickly gets darker and darker.
Because he got in trouble and is needing extra loves and affections.
Wow. Darker and darker and darker. As the last sliver of light is disappearing over the horizon, you see the Slowpoke pick its tail out of the water slowly, turn around, and start heading back down the dock.
Yeah, might be here again when we come back to fish more.
Yeah, I feel like he didn't accomplish what he set out to do. Kinda sad.
Just continues walking past you.
I'm
Angus
sure he'll
follows
have better
behind him until it's basically off the dock and back on the beach, and wanders back down the beach where it had come from.
Kinda feel bad for teasing it now.
Yeah, maybe a little. That's my armpit. Don't lick that.
Probably was so hopeful for a second. Well, I wish you better luck next time!
It entirely ignores you and keeps moving.
But the Roomba answered me.
I was gonna say, I heard that. I was like, what the? Boo boo. It's got
That
Sal's attention.
was really pretty.
That
Kinda
was very
cool.
pretty.
Molly pulls out one of her earbuds and she says, "Yeah, could use another smoke. You guys got any?"
No.
No, sorry.
Okay.
So tomorrow, Jackson, which of these jobs do we head to first? Gotta make some money so we can buy some fishing rods.
Well, yours is gonna take a few days, it seems. So we might as
Yeah.
well do mine first, just in case it's more time
Like,
sensitive.
First thing in the morning, and then
Head
go
to the other one after?
ones?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, let's do that.
Sassy,
did
how do
Mary
you
enjoy
feel
the
about
sun?
going this? Oh, sorry.
How did Mary enjoy the sunset? Was she just chilling?
Yeah, she didn't sit down. She stood there almost uncomfortably, like she didn't know what to do as all you guys were sitting on the hardwood. She took stock of each one of the boats, watching them sort of float in the water and rock and hit the edge of the dock. She turned around and she watched the city lights as they, one by one, come on. Some of the office towers still illuminated. The street lights now all totally illuminated. A car drives by, and you can see as she watches the car move by, her large maw-like antler follows it as well.
Okay.
Sassy, how would you feel about going to visit the professor for a bit instead of helping with all the manual labor?
Sassy looks at you and cocks
That
her
might
head.
be a good call.
Just for like the day. And I'll bring you back.
She just blinks.
Escort her. And then I put her back in her Pokeball.
Okay.
And then... Axel, you have fun today?
He's currently sleeping.
Aw,
Take that as a yes.
he's all tuckered
And I
out.
put him in his Pokeball.
He disappears.
Alright. Liam, Keegan, ready to go back?
You
You wanna ride,
sort of
Liam?
grabs onto your neck and climbs up onto your shoulder. Liam looks at Keegan, who is now sitting on your shoulder, and goes,
You can have one too.
He wants
He
to
looks
be
away.
special.
Do you want to hold my hand then? Oh my gosh.
He's like a 3-year-old that
crosses
just
his
realized he's not the
arms.
only child.
Don't be so jealous! And then I tickle him and I pick him up. And I just, like, carry him like this
Okay.
and swing him around.
As you do that, the monkey Pokemon has no problem holding on to your neck. This little Chimchar sort of rocks there and just giggles to itself.
He likes you.
Liam rolls his eyes.
And just, like, carry him like cradled.
Billy continues to follow after you, just
Yeah.
smiling and taking everything in.
Yeah, I'll leave everybody out for the walk back and carry Belle.
Okay. The traffic has died down a fair bit, but it's still decently heavy, heavier than it was in any of the other towns that you've been to thus far in Wundoro. And Molly sort of leads the way ahead of you. She's only got her Gligar out at the moment, and it's sailing around her head and stops and lands on her shoulder every now and then. You guys are keeping stock of each of your Pokemon who followed dutifully.
I'm carrying both.
Yeah. Maui leering at every individual you pass on the sidewalk as you go, and hissing at every car that passes by.
No, leave my dice alone.
As you move towards the Pokemon Center, I'm assuming you're heading back to the Pokemon
Yeah.
Center. You cut between a couple buildings, just more in a direct route to where you're heading. Whereas before, you would have went down one road, figured, oh no, we gotta turn left here and then go straight again to get to the beach. This time you're like, well, we passed by here. It would have been a lot quicker if we just cut through this park and moved over this way. You come onto another road, and as you're about a block down, still maybe 10 blocks from the Pokemon Center, you see bright flashing blue and red lights. You hear a woo-whoop, woo-whoop, coming from behind you. You turn to see a woman in police garb, much like the one that you had come into contact with when you had had that bus accident. The woman pulls a Pokeball off her belt and she throws it at the ground, and out pops this orange and black striped dog Pokemon, very shaggy, and it kind of barks "Roof, roof,"
At us?
at you guys, and the woman yells, "Stop!"
What did we do?
she points, and she doesn't point at you or Jackson. She points at Molly, who turns and looks at her, and she says, "You! Put your hands up against the wall!"
What'd she do?
The woman pushes past you to Molly, who hasn't put her hands up against the wall and is slowly putting them in the air and looking around. The Gligar flies down closer to her face, and the police woman backs up a little bit, and the dog Pokemon steps forward and growls. The police woman says, "You there, stow your Pokemon and put your hands against the wall now."
Me?
She's addressing Molly at this point in time.
I was like, ah!
She turns back to the two of you, seeing you clearly concerned, and she says, "You two step back, stow your Pokemon."
Okay. I'll
This
put
is
them away.
police matter. Are you with this woman?
We were.
We
just
were
hanging
at
out,
the
yes.
beach. I put away Keegan and go, sorry, Liam. And I put him away too.
Yeah. I'll
Molly
put away
says,
everybody.
I wasn't doing anything, sir. I don't know why you're hassling us. And the police sort of pushes her against the nearby building, sort of roughly, so that her hands touch the walls.
I mean, is the physical aggression necessary?
She turns back to you and says, "Don't come any closer."
I'm not. I don't really think it's okay to be shoving people around. We don't even know what she did.
At this point in time, you see a light turn on from a building across the way, a balcony 3 floors up, and 2 individuals step onto the balcony. One, a man in his mid-20s, another, a woman who looks to be similar, but you can tell by the way that she walks that she is very frail. She is using the man for support, and she has a blanket that is tied around her. And the two look around and down at the group of you guys, paying very special attention to
Trying to get comfortable.
Molly and the Pokemon that is flying around her.
Bad choice. Sit. No, sit. Sit.
Sit your bum down.
Booty down.
The police, with Molly now spread at this point, starts running her hands down her side, and Molly says, "I didn't do anything. Leave me alone. Like, what do you want?"
We've been with her all day. She hasn't gotten up to anything while we've been with her.
Yeah, officer, can you tell us what she's apparently done?
The police takes one of Molly's arms and hand and moves it behind her back, and then grabs the other one and grabs a pair of cuffs off her side and cuffs her. And Molly says, "Fuck you, pig! I don't know what you want." And the police officer pushes her roughly back towards the cruiser and turns to the two of you and says, "This is police business."
I'm no expert, but don't you have to tell her what she's being charged with before you just put handcuffs on her and escort her to a vehicle?
This doesn't seem right.
She opens up the back cruiser door and shoves her in. And at this point, she starts listing off a series of rights to the young woman as she roughly slams the door behind her. And she looks back to the two of you and she says, "All right, who are you to her?"
We met her today.
"Oh, so
Acquaintances?
you weren't with her yesterday? You can't
No,
speak to her
we've been
whereabouts
with her all
2
day
nights
today.
ago, 3 nights ago?"
No?
No, what has she done?
The police officer kind of looks up at the 2 individuals that are on the balcony, looks back at the back of the cruiser, and then looks back at you and says, "Police business." And she moves over to her door of the cruiser.
I look over at the two and say, "What the fuck has she done? This doesn't seem right."
The man doesn't say anything. The woman leans against the railing a little bit, and the man leans forward very quickly, concerned. It looks like she tries to say something, but can't get the words out. The man shoots you to a look, and then helps the woman into the house, into the apartment.
Can't get the words out. How?
She looks...
Physically ill.
Yeah, give me a medicine check.
Natural 20.
Natural
And
20.
I'm proficient in medicine,
So it's
Yeah.
like a 25.
so it's a 23.
23.
It's crazy. Looking up at her, you can see that this would typically be a darker skinned woman, but she's pale, 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 pale. You can see her eyes are bloodshot. Her cheeks are sunken in. And yet her body looks athletic, like she is in physically good health, but there's definitely some sickness or something plaguing her. When she went to speak, she physically opened her mouth, and it was almost like she half fainted. Her eyes flicker a little bit, and then the man collects her, and that's when they move back into the apartment and close the door. The police officer collects her Pokemon back into its Pokeball. She steps into her police cruiser, rolls down the opposite window, and says, "If you want to collect her, she'll be at Unit 5. Then the sirens go off one more time. Woo whoop! Woo whoop! They continue to flash, and she pulls away from the curb and drives down the road.
Well, we know where to get her.
Kind of want to talk to those people. I go running into the apartment building.
You run up to the side of the apartment building, and you go to open the door, and it's...
No, I start buzzing numbers.
Okay.
Based on what floor I think they're on.
It's about a 6-story building. It's fairly large, so there's a good number of buttons, but you keep buzzing, and every now and then you hear a, "Who's this? What do you want?" And then you hear one person say, "Oh, it's the pizza. Okay, here, I'm buzzing you in."
Perfect.
And then the door opens.
That woman's not healthy. I don't know why they have something to do with it, but she's not okay.
I also don't feel like it's a good idea to just go snooping in other people's personal lives,
I just
though.
want to ask them if she's okay.
Okay.
I go in.
Okay, you open the door and you walk in.
Follow.
The entry lobby is perfunctory. There's a small couch that looks fairly worn. There's carpet that is stained. You get to the elevator and you push the up button. It takes a little bit, and with a rattle, the doors open. You step in, and each of the walls seems to be padded, as if somebody had moved in that day, and they freighted it up. You push the 3rd floor button, and it takes you up. And then the doors open.
Knock on the first door, and if it's not them, I'm going to ask if they know if there is a man and a woman here where the woman seems relatively sickly.
Give me an investigation check. Jackson, are you following?
Yep.
Okay. Do you still have... Oh, you guys put all your...
14.
Away. Perfect. Okay. It takes you a few doors, a few angry people who are wondering why you're asking, and then one individual says, "Oh, yeah, that is... Let me pull out my notes. That's Kiono and her fiance. They live down in Unit 22. 622.
Thank you.
Sorry, 322. And she points you down the way. You move down around the corner, and you knock on the door that says that.
Straighten up.
Takes about a minute, and
Not
then the
threatening.
door opens about a crack. The only thing keeping it from opening any further is a chain. And the gentleman that you saw standing up on the balcony before is standing there in front of you. Darker skinned, fairly tall, going on maybe 6'1", 6'2", shaved head, skinny, sort of wife beater. And he looks out and he says, "What do you want?"
I honestly don't care what or if at all you have anything to do with why Molly was arrested. I'm just genuinely concerned about your fiance. You okay?
Tell her to keep her Pokemon to herself.
Okay, I will, but is your fiance okay?
Takes a long look at you.
She looks like she's a strong, and should be healthy woman. I just want to know if there's something I can do to help.
Roll persuasion.
$13.
You hear a quiet, frail voice from inside go, Eugene, you can let him in. There's a long pause as the man looks backwards. The door shuts. There's a long moment before you hear a chain rattle and the door open. And he looks at you, and he looks at the old man, but he backs away.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just genuinely concerned, and I know this is invasive. Can you tell us what happened?
You friends with that punk?
I just met her today. She seemed like a good person.
As you move in, the apartment is fairly dark, not terribly well lit. It has a very simple living room that is attached to a decently messy and worn, aged kitchen. Think of your first apartment.
Yeah.
It has a sliding door to a balcony, but the door appears to be broken. You can see that there's a crack in the glass, and there is a chair leaned against it, propping it shut. The man closes the door behind you, and a woman steps around a corner from supposedly what is a bedroom or a hallway. She still has this woven blanket around her shoulders, and she shivers slightly. She says, "You don't know that girl?"
No, not well. We literally just went to the beach and built a sandcastle with her.
Did that thing hurt you too?
Which thing?
At this point, the man speaks up, and he says, "The freaky one. With the wings and the fangs.
The Gligar?
I don't know what the fuck it is."
What do you mean?
The woman shivers for a moment, and the man walks over to her and helps her sit down on a long couch. And she leans out a little bit, almost unable to hold herself up anymore. And he says, "Every night for the last 2 nights, that thing's been flying up here. Lucky I didn't wring its neck last time it got up into her room."
Flying up here and doing what?
You look over at the woman, and her eyes meet yours, and she pulls down the edge of the blanket, and you see these 2 little pinpricks in her neck.
It was stinging you?
Biting you?
Sucking her fucking blood.
My hand on my neck?
Well, as I come up here 2 nights ago, my girl, she's been sick for 2 weeks. I decided I'm going to spend the night. You know, I don't want her getting any worse than she's been. Doctors don't know what the fuck it is. Say it's anemia or something. And I see it there, crouching over her bed as she's sleeping. Came in through the door. Landlord hasn't fixed it. It's been broken for months. That's how it's been getting in. Leathery wings, sinister eyes, and those gleaming fangs in the dark. Didn't get a good look at it then, but I know. Made a beeline for it, and it made it out through the door and out into the night before I could catch it.
Do you know that it's hers, or is it maybe just a random one that happens to be in the area?
I know what I fucking saw.
Did you see it fly down to her?
No. Made off into the night over top of the other apartments.
And how do you know it's hers? I'm not saying what's happening isn't terrible, that I don't feel for you, but there's a girl who's going to prison right now who seems to have nothing to do with it.
Looks at both of you, and the woman speaks up. She coughs slightly. Eugene, are you sure that was it? And he says, "Quiet, baby, quiet. I know. Just be quiet. I know it's tough." And he looks back at you. Says, "I ain't ever seen nothing like that before. What else would it have been? Fits the bill, doesn't it?"
They're not around here? Like,
Who?
the guy, the Gligar?
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 I don't even know what the fuck that is.
That Pokemon.
The Pokedex only tells you where you encountered the one that you scanned, right?
The Pokedex gives
you
you
scanned
data on
Yeah.
Pokemon that you have caught before.
Okay.
But, okay.
Yeah, it'll give you basic information on things that you just scanned, but it won't give you information as
habitats
to,
or
like,
anything.
yeah.
I'm gonna reach out to the woman and see if she'll let me touch her hand.
She doesn't move. You can't tell whether it's she's unconcerned by you or whether she's physically too weak to move. But the boy steps in and says, "All right, what the fuck are you doing?"
Just want to give my sincerest apologies for being invasive and sorry that this has happened to her.
Keep your hands off her.
Just wanted to see if I could help. I guess we'll be going. I really am sorry.
He looks at you. He doesn't say anything.
What was her name?
Kiono.
I really am sorry, Kiono. Just hope your fiance has the right person.
She smiles slightly and coughs. She says, "I'm sorry for causing any trouble."
No, I'm sorry for barging in here. I just wanted to try and help. I want to try and reach out and touch her.
What are you doing?
Just, I know he told me not to touch her, but reach out to try and touch her shoulder before I walk away.
You touch her shoulder, and his hand touches your hand on her shoulder, like he grabs
I
your
put
arm.
30 points into her of my healing hands and see if it does anything.
She brightens up a little bit. The color doesn't entirely return to her. She still looks unwell, but her eyelids flutter a little bit, and she smiles at you.
I'm sorry.
"Thank you."
I'll see myself out. I pull my hand out from under his and walk away.
He lets you go, seeing you walking towards the door, and then he looks to the old man and crosses his arms.
I'm just curious what's wrong with the door. Is it just a crack or is the lock broken?
The lock's been broken. Landlord should have fixed it months ago.
I'm not good with that sort of thing. Otherwise, I'd offer to help, but I'll probably just go now.
Think you should.
Homer Simpson.
Exactly. I hope you have a better night tonight than the last couple. And I'll
Nods.
leave.
Okay, as you two leave, the door shuts behind you, roughly, and you are left alone in the hallway. There's a light that flickers down the hall.
Sorry to pull you into that, Jackson. I just wanted to see if it would help.
Oh, it's okay.
I don't understand what I can do.
I
She
mean,
just seemed not right.
yeah. I think the best thing that we can do now is to at least prove that there's other Gligar in the area. Because I mean, Molly's seemed affectionate, not dangerous in any way.
Well, it didn't bite me. I checked. I got nervous. It didn't bite me, right?
I'll check.
Give me an investigation check.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, it's not bad, because my intelligence actually is positive, so it's not going to be too bad.
Okay.
Not great, but it's a 9.
Okay. As you're standing there, basically pulling back her shirt a little bit and looking, you start looking down her back a little bit. You're slightly taller than her, and you're leaned over her a little bit. The elevator stops at the top, and a couple walks by, and they see you two standing there.
I
They
just
walk by
realized
you.
what this could look like.
He's my grandfather, and I had a weird, scratch, and I thought I had a bug bite.
Hear one of the guys say, "Pervert." But
He's
they
my
keep walking.
grandpa!
That doesn't make it better. That probably only makes it worse to them.
A door opens down the hall and
Not
closes.
everybody's a perv. Get your mind out of the gutter!
But you don't find any bite marks.
Well, that's a relief, I guess. I don't know. How would we even go about looking for a Gligar?
I mean, if you want to prove that one's been here, we can hang out across the street for the night.
Like a stakeout?
Maybe.
Okay.
It's the best thing that I can think of. Because I have the feeling that even if one shows up, they're still going to accuse her.
Yeah, she's a trainer in the
But if
area with
we
a
can-
Gligar.
Catch it. It proves it's not hers, because you can't catch other people's Pokemon?
That is true.
Is that a thing?
And we have cameras. Does
Yeah.
the Pokedex have a record? And I would start flipping through the camera to see if it has a recording.
It does have a camera, and there would be a record feature there too
Okay.
to take short videos.
Well, if we camp out, if we can catch the Gligar trying to sneak in, we can get it on camera.
Yeah. But that
the-
also doesn't prove that it's not Molly's.
It is if it's date stamped tonight.
I guess.
And then we catch it.
Sure.
Or attempt to.
If this is a grass-type gym, that'll be fucking great.
Is it gonna be safe to sleep on the street? Or, I mean, stay out on the street?
Is there, like, a dividing wall between just, like, the sidewalk and, like, grass on the other side or something? Or is it all, like, just intercity right now?
So you are in front of a apartment building, so there is a very small grass area in front of it, like a 5-foot span before the sidewalk and then the road. Same with on the other side. So this is a somewhat residential, but still core area.
Is there, like, a bench?
There are a few benches, yeah.
Let's go.
So
Hang out on a bench?
it's gonna be a late night.
Probably.
We'll go park it on the park bench. For the bench.
You guys go down the elevator, ride it all the way to the bottom, leave through the doors, and you find yourself on the street. You find yourself a park bench just a few feet down and across the street. And you sit down there. It's going on probably 9-10 o'clock now.
Let's see what
It is proper dark,
Pokemon
and
to help us
the
look.
number of cars has slowed to maybe a couple every minute, as opposed to front to back.
I'm gonna pop out Liam and Axel.
Okay.
And say, okay, guys, we're on a bit of a stakeout. Remember that pink bug thing that climbed on my face, Liam?
Liam nods. Ooh.
Axel, do you remember the pink flying thing that was with Molly?
He sits there and he looks up at you and tilts his head to the side.
Okay. See that window up there?
They both look up.
One's been flying into that lady's apartment every night and sucking her blood. And they think Molly's did it. So we gotta keep all eyes out for one of those. Trying to fly into that lady's window, and you guys gotta help me.
Liam looks back at you and nods. Ooh.
Okay?
Axel looks back at you and just goes,
Axel, do you remember what it smelt like? Okay, Axel does have the best wisdom of my Pokemon. I'm just gonna put that out there.
That's funny. What is it?
Unless Ryolo is proficient, which he is not. He's proficient in insight, but not.
I don't have Billy's stat block up.
I'm just double checking to make sure I'm not. Okay. Yeah. So Axel has a +1 to his perception. I'm assuming because he's a dog and it's probably somewhat scent based, would be my assumption. But
Probably. Scent or hearing.
Yeah.
Dogs have good hearing.
Yeah. Is what I would assume.
That makes some sense.
I'll just have me and Billy.
Billy stands there. You guys are fairly serious at this moment, and he keeps looking down at you, going,
Oh, we're just looking out for, remember that, like, purplish, pinkish Pokemon that Molly had, that with the fangs and the stinger?
Billy smiles.
Yeah, we're looking out for one of those. Kind of one's coming into that apartment over there every night, it seems, and causing them some trouble, so.
He mimics the motion you made.
In the right direction? Or just in
Yes.
general? Okay.
Okay.
Yes, somewhere up there. So we're just gonna keep an eye out for it tonight.
He nods, and he turns around, and he sits down on the park bench next to you with a dull thud. Thump.
Waving at the cars as they go by.
Yep.
God, I love Billy.
And he does. He waves at almost every car that goes by. One car honks, and he waves his other hand. You guys wait there an hour. Another half an hour, and the lights go out up in that apartment that you were watching. Now 12 o'clock.
What kind of street lighting is out here? Is there still enough light on the side of the building that we can kind of see what's going on, or?
Yeah, it's, I mean, the third level where their apartment is probably at the edge of the street lighting. Above that, it's pretty dark, but you can see shadows from the general city glow. So you still have a decent view of it.
Okay.
Another hour goes past, and then another hour. Can I get you guys to give me a Constitution save?
Ooh, that's not good.
12.
That's a 5 minus 1. Oh, that's only a 4 then.
Okay. Jackson, you're having a very hard time.
Oh, I'm a
keeping your
sleepy
eyes
boy.
open. You take a point of exhaustion as you push through it. Brooke, I imagine your anxiety is too high. You're alert, as are Ryolu, who is pacing, and Axel, who is doing circles around the bench that you're on, sniffing the ground.
Dutifully.
A little after 2 o'clock, you see him stop and look around a little bit. You can see his nose going, but he puts it to the ground, puts it back up, and he listens. Jackson, you are surprised by the sound of a sudden shriek.
What the hell? That came from inside.
Ow!
It actually came from a couple blocks down.
Couple blocks down.
If you stay here, I can go check that out.
Okay.
Just in case something else comes. Come on, Billy, let's go.
Okay. Billy walks behind you. Ooh, ooh, as you guys shuffle down the block. You follow the noise to where you figure it came from. And you look up, about 4 floors up, you see one light on and the silhouette of a woman who stumbles out to her balcony, holding her neck. You see 3 other lights turn on in the same building. One man steps out onto his balcony, and he looks down and yells, "Hey, shut up!"
Do I see any semblance of a Gligar? I'm gonna take out my Pokedex and start filming.
Give me a perception check.
Disadvantage because I'm a tired boy. Then that's only a 5.
Roll one for Billy.
Roll one for Billy. Does he have disadvantage as well, or is it just me?
He's been in his Pokeball in and out, so he should be fine.
Okay. That's, I believe, a 9. I think he's got a -1, but let me double check.
Not very wise, that Billy
no,
boy.
he's got an 8, so... yeah, that's a 9.
Okay. You watch the night, looking up into the sky, looking for any sign of what this could have been. Your ears catch the soft sound of something flap, but you can't make out where it is or where it's gone, and then it is just gone. Looking back up at the building, one by one, each of the lights turn off, except for the one with the woman standing on the balcony. She continues to hold her neck, her silhouetted against the light from her apartment, and it looks like she's just breathing really heavy. She stands there for a few more minutes before she turns around and walks back into her apartment.
And I'll
the
turn
light turns
around
off.
and walk back towards... I was about to say Everly. Brooke!
While I'm waiting for Jackson, because I'm assuming I would have noticed Axel's alertness.
Mm-hmm.
What was it, buddy? Did you smell it?
He looks at you, and he looks a bit perplexed, but he keeps looking down the direction that Jackson went.
It was down there, wasn't it? Okay. I'm going to take a look around with the help of Liam and Axel and see if we see anything in our area.
Okay. Can each of you give me a perception check?
Okay. Each individually?
Yep.
Okay. This one will be Axel. Axel is a 15.
Mm-hmm.
Brooke is a 13. And Liam is a 9.
Okay. You each stare off into the night, trying to catch something. You look upwards and you watch as the clouds part a little bit more and the sun or the moon shines through. But it's generally still. A car moves by. That's probably where we should take a break.
Sure.
Nothing.
Oh. I could use about as much sleep as Jackson could right now.
My jaw
Holy.
popped.
My freaking neck's been bugging me all day too. Last couple. I think David got me with the practice knife.
Oh, did
right there. So it's like just hit a nerve or something. So every time I look to the right, it just hurts unless I put my hand there.
Did David tell you about the one guy at the place he goes to that's like really rough?
Yeah, I think he was telling me about him a little
like,
bit.
Got him in the throat,
Ooh.
which is why he has that like
Yeah.
other protective piece
Oh, yeah.
now. Yeah.
I got him on the head the other day too. Actually, and opened up a pretty decent gash on him. We found out later when we were in here with Whitney just hanging out.
Oh, and hello to Spinnerd Ariados. Thanks for tuning in. I don't
Yeah.
know if you're still with us, but...
Yeah, Matt said hi to them when they first tuned in.
Mm-hmm.
I still
no,
don't
I'm
got
okay.
this. Actually, if you could grab, I think I've got my water bottle in my backpack still like full, so I'll steal that.
Yep.
Please and thank you.
Yeah, when David and I were in here, when you and Whitney had your characters down at the docks, he was telling me about how this one guy goes like real hard and almost like
Yeah,
not okay
Yeah.
kind of way, and he got him like square in the throat. And he like couldn't breathe for a second.
Yeah.
And he's like, it legitimately kind of like scared me for a minute. And he's like,
Yep.
that's why I went and got that piece.
Thank you, sir.
I was like, yeah, that's fair.
That was a cool perspective thing.
And then I asked him if they had like like supervision type refs in the sparring area or whatever, and he said no.
No.
And I'm like, that like should be required. I was like, there should be like set rules of what you are and aren't allowed to do, and someone there kind of like policing it.
Yeah.
I was shocked to find that they didn't.
No, I think it's relatively common in places like that. Because even if you're going to like if you're doing like karate, if you're sequestering off into groups, it's kind of just understood that you're not going to be a shithead and go full out against the person that you're going against, unless you're either both agree or unless you're doing like an actual like mock fight.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. But even in like karate and stuff, there's usually like people like that seemingly walk around or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like supervising the place, so to speak.
I mean, it depends on how many people there are, because if there's an odd number, the sensei is probably going to be with one of the students.
Oh, so.
Yeah, most places just go off of an honor system of don't be a dick.
That's true.
And some people take advantage of that and decide to be dicks.
It's an understatement.
Isn't that right, Sal?
No, you cannot come up again. I love you so much, but every time you risk like knocking over my table.
He's like, I'm gonna do it anyways.
Well, and he keeps like coming up here and then like hitting me, and I'm like, I know, I love you too.
He just wants some attention.
He wants attention because I got mad at him. This is always what he does when I get mad at him. He, like begs for forgiveness the rest of the day. I forgave you.
But has she given you enough pets to show you that?
No. Never enough pets.
I thought she was gonna get like a drug charge.
So
like,
did
wait.
I.
I was like, wait, is weed not legal in Wundoro?
Definitely isn't.
Oh god. So it's like America.
Yeah, the war on drugs is alive and well in Wundoro.
Was disappointed with Officer Jenny's actions. That out there.
Yeah.
I expect better of her than that. Come on.
He's being so cautious.
I know, but then he's gonna try and get down, and it's gonna be panicky central all over again. This guy, this guy, so needy boy.
Yeah, it's kind of the opposite of Lily. She'll come every now and then if I'm like eating. Like yesterday, after I finished eating, and she came up to me to like lick what little crumbs might have fallen.
Oh jeez.
But then I'll just sit there and I'll start petting her, and she'll be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Pets are nice too." And she'll just kind of hang out after. Be like, "Well, I came here for food, but I got some pets, and that's great."
She was very excited to see me when I came in.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
My boy's
Yeah, it
just
has been.
always needy.
Yeah, Lily loves people, which I'm very happy for because she does not love animals.
Okay. Nobody needs to go to the washroom or nothing?
No.
No.
We're all good? You want to just keep going? I know you're tired.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Seeing as there is a mystery
I totally
afoot.
burnt the inside of my mouth on a French fry today.
All right.
Um.
You stand there in the night air.
Yeah. After looking unsuccessfully, I'm gonna start heading towards Jackson a bit.
Okay.
Trying to keep the apartment building still in sight, though.
Sure.
So not letting it leave.
You guys meet up in a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like there was a woman that got bit, but I couldn't see it.
Just out of curiosity, what did the woman's like physical appearance? What was it like? Did she seem otherwise strong and healthy?
Did she?
You
I didn't
couldn't
really
tell.
yeah. The only thing that I could really tell was that she was panting and holding her neck.
Yeah.
I'm just curious as to how many people people, and why those people?
I'm assuming athletic people probably have healthier blood. So if that's a thing,
Do I know of any Pokemon in like my region that target specific like
builds.
demographic or builds, so to speak?
That target people of specific demographics?
Or builds or anything? Like
Maybe she was black and it's a racist Gligar.
no, but like like
Now, that would have been Officer Jenny on her.
no, like Driftbloom, they're not from my place, but obviously like Melissa knows they target children. Like, are there Pokemon in my region that target specific people?
Give me a nature check.
No, that's bad. 2.
You know Pokemon are dangerous, and that there are Pokemon that are predatory. But in terms of Pokemon specifically targeting people, or like this sort of circumstance, this is foreign to you.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Wonder if there's a way to find out how many people are being targeted.
Yeah, I'm just sure the more reports come in, the more the police will at least know that Molly's not the one doing it.
Well, I think I'm going to take Axel down this way and see if he can catch its scent.
Sure. I'll come with.
Because he seems to have...
Or do you want me to
Heard
come with,
something that
or
way.
go and sit under the apartment just in case?
Sit under the apartment for now. I'll whistle real loud.
Perfect. I'll try not to fall asleep.
I'll head down to... following Axel to kind of where he thinks he heard / smelt something.
Sure.
And see if he can pick up a scent.
Okay. He walks down, leading you towards the same apartment building that Jackson had come from. And he looks around curiously, but he doesn't put his nose to the ground. He puts his ear to the air, and you can tell that he's listening for something. But after a few minutes, he kind of shakes his head and he just looks up at you.
Yeah. This is a weird question, bud, but did it come from the building when you heard it, or towards the building?
Kind of walks his head to the other direction.
Yeah. Sometimes I wish I could really talk to you guys.
That's my shtick.
Okay, well, got nothing more that we can do other than sit and wait, so let's head back to Jackson.
Okay, you head back down to Jackson on the bench.
Yeah, couldn't pick it up. I think it left. But if there's more than one, unless it's just one, and just sit and keep watch the 3 of my Pokemon. Me and my 2 Pokemon.
Okay. What are you up to?
It's like, I'm gonna roll another like con check. Oh, that's worse than the first one. He's just knocked out.
So Brooke came back, was talking to herself.
Yeah.
Suddenly
Jackson's just like
Jackson
lying on the
snores.
chair.
Never mind. It's fine. You sleep. Brooke just waits.
He's old. His body just does what it needs to.
Yeah, Brooke's 16. She's probably used to all-nighters.
The clock continues to tick, and 5:30, 6 o'clock, the sun starts to rise. Today looks like it's going to be a perfect, clear, sunny day. There is not a cloud to be seen.
How you doing, guys?
Ryolu twitches awake.
It's okay. I don't blame you.
Oh.
Did both of my Pokemon eventually fall asleep?
Yeah. They're basically leaning up against each other and then leaning against your leg.
It's okay, guys. I stayed up. Nothing else came.
Me and Billy are just hanging out on the bench, and he's probably the big spoon. I imagine Jackson falling asleep and Billy just being like,
Definitely. He puts one arm over your body.
You never did see it last night, did you, Jackson?
Oh, is that?
The Gligar that bit that other woman?
No, I didn't. Oh, crap. Sorry, I fell asleep.
That's okay. So did everybody.
Oh.
It's okay. They're still growing, and I feel like I'm at that age where you pull all-nighters.
I'm apparently not anymore.
It's okay. It's not the first time I've done it. Probably won't be the last. Well, I mean, we know somebody got bit,
Yeah,
but I don't think that's enough to kind of clear Molly.
but if we know somebody got bit and we know that her Pokemon were being held, we know that it couldn't have been hers.
Do you think Officer Jenny would let her, or do you think the officer would let her out?
Maybe. She did say we could come and collect her at Unit 5.
What if we tried to ask that woman that got bit last night? She'd come and testify, so to speak, the fact that she got attacked last night.
Maybe.
Might be better coming from her as opposed to us. The officer might just think we're lying because she thinks we're friends with Molly.
That's fair. We can go and see if she'll come with us.
I don't think we're gonna find those things tonight. So, I mean, if we do want to try and stop the Pokemon from doing this, if it is only one, we can come back tomorrow. Well, I mean, I guess tonight.
Yeah, we could try again tonight.
But maybe we do some work and then I take a nap first.
I might need to take a nap real quick, too.
Do we want to try and hit a job first? He didn't get a long rest, did he?
Did they give us a time period for when we would have to show up for work, or can I get a little bit more in?
I mean, did it? I'm gonna take a.
I don't think the moving one gave us a
I
specific
don't think
time.
either did.
The moving one didn't give you a time.
And the other one would be over the course of a few days anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
They're
the other
10-hour
one.
days though, so they're long.
Yeah, it would be from like
7 a.m.
now.
Well, we're too late for the one I picked up because they're 7 a.m. shifts and they're like all day.
Perfect, then let's sleep in a little bit more and go to the other one.
Okay, we'll sleep, then go to yours, get some money, go buy fishing rods, see if we can catch a couple of those things.
Sure.
And then,
See if we can talk
Camp
to
out.
that lady.
yeah.
We should probably go visit Molly, though. At some point today.
Well, if we can convince this lady, then
Maybe. We'll sleep,
we can go
work,
ahead back.
come back here, and even if she doesn't come with us, we should probably go say hi to Molly.
I agree.
And then come back here and stake it out again and see if we can
What
get
time
evidence.
of the morning is it? Because you said it was rising.
Yeah, so it's like 5:36.
Oh, so it's still pretty early.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, what was that, Jackson? I'm tired. It's hitting me.
I was saying we'll sleep, go work, come back here and talk to the lady that got bit if we can track down that apartment. Then go visit Molly, then come back and stake it out
I
again.
would probably sleep till noon.
Same.
Would that sleeping till noon give us a long rest? Like 12:30-ish?
6.5 hours.
Well, if it's 5:30,
Yeah.
12:30 would be 7. If we like booked it to the Pokemon Center.
Yeah, between what you were doing, I think Jackson could get in a long rest because you stayed up and you were physically looking. And you were
for a
keeping watch?
period though, because after Jackson, after when I came back from the break, after I came back from searching, I literally just sat there. It would have been no different than like a watch.
Different though. A watch, you're just generally keeping an eye on your space, ensuring nothing approaches you, as opposed to keeping an eye on or surveillance on specific other things. Like you were accomplishing a very specific task.
Okay. So I don't get a long rest with 7 hours. It has to be 8.
But you're not exhausted yet either.
No, but it means I don't get my...
Oh, you're lay on hands.
Yeah.
Plug you? Noted.
Which I don't often have a lot of potions, so that's what I rely on.
Oh.
Because I don't purchase potions very often because I can't afford it. I can never afford potions. I always have to prioritize Pokeballs.
I have all the potions, but not many Pokeballs. Or maybe it's vice versa. No, I'm right. All the potions, not many Pokeballs. All right.
Head to the Poke Center.
Okay. You guys peel yourself off the bench. Billy wipes the sleep from his eyes and slowly drags himself behind you.
I'm tired too, bud. We'll get some more rest soon.
You guys find yourself at the Poke Center. A bit less a buzz than it was the day before, but there's still plenty going on and a full staff that is working diligently. You can see the flashing sign off to one side that leads you down a hallway to a bunk area. It's set up largely like a hostel.
Put Axel back in the Pokeball before we start walking, and I'll pick up Liam and carry him because he's probably still tired because he stayed up really late with me. And when we get to the Pokemon Center, I'm gonna switch out Meowth for Ziggy.
Okay. So you go to the machine, you do your whole thing, and the Pokeballs are swapped. Let me do that
See
for
you
you.
in a bit, Sassy.
And after my nap, I'm gonna swap Angus and Belle with Ratsputin and Machu.
And I think Brooke's just gonna stay up. Because snapping's not gonna do anything. For her.
Perfect. Jackson, you find yourself a bunk that is between a few others. There are still a number of trainers in here who are getting ready. You can see one younger girl is putting her backpack on and readying herself for the day. And she moves past you and smiles sweetly as she leaves.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
What do you think, Liam? Do you need
Exits.
a nap? You're up pretty late with me.
Liam yawns and then he shakes his head.
Are you sure? We got a long day ahead of us. We gotta move furniture. There's gonna be a lot of heavy lifting. And then we're gonna maybe go fishing if we have time, and then have to pull another all-nighter maybe. You sure you don't want to sleep?
He thinks about it for a long time. He looks up at you.
Okay.
You're someone in chat. Treat me different ability filings. We're not playing Pokemon right now. We're doing an RPG version of.
And then while Jackson sleeps, I'm gonna pop out Ziggy.
Zigzagoon pops out and takes stock of the area around him.
Hey, Ziggy.
Looks up at you and his little tail wags.
How you been?
He taps the ground a few times with his spade.
I think we get to do some digging tomorrow.
His tail wags even faster.
Yeah. I'm hoping that when we go for the interview, I can tell them you're a really good digger.
He runs up to you and puts his front two paws on your foot. And his tail continues to wag.
During Jackson's rest, though, I would like to try and do some trust exercises with Ziggy.
Okay, what are you doing?
Probably breaking off bits of like ration as like positive reinforcement if I can, and just trying to encourage him to drop the trowel for a moment, and then like give him a bit of ration, and then like pets and lots of praise, and then seeing if eventually he'll let me hold the trowel, and just kind of trying to work with his separation anxiety with the trowel.
Okay.
Through like praise and reassurance and just tests of like how long he can sit without it, and lots of love and
Sure.
praise.
Give me a Pokemon handling check. Mark off as many rations as you figure you wanted to use.
Oh, that's a natural 1.
Oh,
no. Yeah.
Ziggy's very excited about the prospect of
Food.
digging that you had said. So much so that anytime you're like, here, give me the trowel, give me the trowel, he's like, and he backs off. Like, no, I need to use this. Like you told me there's work. We're gonna go digging.
We'll keep working on it. I say that because he's so excited, I probably only focus on it for like an hour tops, because I don't want to stress him out. I don't want to push it too much, so if he starts really getting anxious after like half an hour of trying, I'll just stop. Probably only utilize like not even a ration.
Okay.
That was worth a shot. Tomorrow we dig. And then I put him in the Pokeball.
Okay.
Right, remember that game that I taught you and that that guy where I taught them chopsticks?
The Tyrogue.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The trucker.
Remember that game, Chopsticks?
He puts up his fingers.
No, that's the other one we play,
That's
but
football.
we can play that if you want. Okay. I'll play that with Liam for a bit.
Okay. You guys do so, killing the majority of the morning.
All the time talking about how I hope that he will help me work with the other Pokemon to encourage them in their fighting and raising them up, and slowly trying to push in that I need him to be buddies with the Chimchar and not jealous.
He's very okay with the idea of like training with the other Pokemon and working them up. But when you talk about the Chimchar, he's very defensive. Like, no, not that one.
Why don't you want to be his buddy? You don't have a problem with Axel when he's hugging me.
He sort of waves at him dismissively.
Why do you get so upset with the Chimchar?
Crosses his arms.
You don't need to be
huffs.
jealous. You're the only one that has a ribbon. Just promise me you'll try.
Huffs.
Could probably use a big brother figure.
He huffs again.
You told me we were gonna help this Chimchar together. Do you remember that? Being sassy.
Moves his shoulders a little bit.
I mimic him.
He looks very upset with you.
Come on. Lighten up. I love you. I rub his head.
Pushes your hand away.
You're stubborn, you know that. Okay, let's play some more.
Jackson, you get a solid nap in. And I imagine around 12:30, you are awakened by Ryolu and Brooke.
Ah, good morning.
Good morning. Oh, come to think of it, I just thought, I wonder if one of the nurses or medical people here would know Or, actually, the professor. Let's ask the professor if she knows anything.
Oh, yeah, about Gligar and why they might go after people?
Yeah, or at least where to find them.
Sure.
Call professor.
Okay.
Ring, 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 ring.
There is a
ring,
ringing
banana
sound.
Phone.
And the Pokeball on the screen spins, and then the light turns on. But you don't see the professor. You see
Doogie.
this heavier set, bespectacled man, a little bit of thinning hair.
Monsignor, whatever.
Ponsignier? No. And he says, well, it's you two.
Do you
Professor
not
is
like
away
us?
at the moment. What do you need?
Okay, well, Douglas?
Doogie?
Yes, Douglas. Douglas.
Okay, Doogie.
Do you know anything about Gligar?
Sure.
Okay, this is important. And I'm sure Jackson and I would appreciate the not attitude.
What do you need to know about Gligar?
There's a couple of women in the town we're in that have seemingly been attacked by one. The husband of the fiance of one said that was sucking her blood. She looked pretty
Very
pale.
You hear the clatter of keys, and he turns back and says, well, that certainly doesn't sound like a Gligar.
What
Really?
does it sound like?
Sounds like you got yourself a bit of a mystery. What are you doing about it?
I
We're
mean,
trying to solve it
we stayed up very late last night trying to solve it.
all night.
Huh.
For me.
Looks it.
What does that mean? Anyway, I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that. How about you just be helpful and just point us in the right direction?
Look, I don't know what you're after or what's hurting those women, but it's not a Gligar. I'll tell you that. Gligar don't drink blood.
Got any Pokemon in the region that do?
He clicks a couple buttons and he says, maybe it's a bit early. I don't know.
1, 2, 10, 100. Goodbye, Douglas. You're no help.
The screen goes blank.
Well, if he says it's not, that means that there's somebody else here that can speak to it.
Yeah,
Maybe one of the nurses here?
maybe. I mean, they are experts in the field, so...
Exactly. Walk up to the desk.
You walk up to the desks, and one of the young male nurses steps up and he says, well, hello, welcome to the Serene City Pokemon Center. How can I help you today?
What Pokemon in the region drink blood? From, like, human specimens.
He cocks his head and he says, well, that's very disturbing.
Yeah, it's happening in an apartment building.
Yeah, there was a woman who got bit last night, another woman who's been bit 2 times the 2 nights before.
Oh, I'm sorry. We only take care of Pokemon here.
Oh, we're
Oh,
not
that's not
looking
what
to
we're asking.
take care of the people. We just want to know if there's a Pokemon you know of that does that, so we can be on the lookout for it.
As well, I read a book once a long time ago. Classic story, The Curse of Alucard, about this creepy man. He took on the appearance of a winged nocturnal creature. Would seduce young maidens and drink their blood. But that's myth.
Is there a doctor or nurse that would write up a formal letter in specifically stating that Gligar do not drink blood?
Shrugs. He says,
It's a no. Is there a library?
"Sure."
Go to the library and find a book about Gligar.
Yeah.
Check it out and just shove it in the officer's face.
I suppose.
Got any other ideas?
Not particularly, other than trying to catch the Pokemon that's doing it.
Just wish we knew where to start. We want to get a work in first with this moving?
Sure.
Okay. We'll head to the first job.
Young nurse waves to you and says, "Sounds like you have a full day ahead of yourself."
Yeah, full
Probably
few.
night. Yep.
Well, take
Thank
care.
you.
I hope you solve your problem.
Yeah.
Same.
Mm-hmm. Let's walk out.
Okay.
Falling asleep.
It's probably going on 12:30. What are you guys doing?
Going to our first job.
Yeah.
The moving one.
Okay. So, you head across town, grabbing a bus and taking your way there. You note city buses do accept your trainer pass as compensation. So no charge. You go
Perfect.
from place to place.
Hell yes.
We got 0.
Gave all my money to
Pokebucks.
Molly after she beat my ass.
And yeah, you find yourself in the suburbs, in front of this one house. In front of it is a cube van that has been parked there for who knows how long. And as you walk up to the front step, the door opens before you even get there, and a man, totally bald on top, small glasses, big mustache, he smiles and drinks a cup of coffee, and he says, "You're responding to the ad then?"
Yeah.
Sure, about the moving job?
Yes. He looks between the two of you. Just, did you bring any help?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Pop out
Liam's already out with me.
Rasputin, pop out. Or Billy's already out. But pop out Rasputin and Machu.
Rasputin and Machu.
How about Liam and I guess Keegan, but Ziggy and Electrike are no use for this job.
Yeah.
Okay.
I picked the ones that specifically have digits.
He scratches his head. He says, "Okay, and you understand the terms?"
I believe so.
Yeah, you finish the job, and 1,200 Pokebucks for you. Of course, if you damage anything, I'll be pulling a little bit off the top.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you have spots that you want to put the things?
Yeah, I'll show you where everything goes.
'Kay.
Okay, this way. And he walks down the step towards the back of this cube van. He pulls out a ring of keys from his pocket and opens up the back. Inside is a fair bit of furniture. Kitchen, dining room set, a couple dressers, an antique mirror and wardrobe. A variety of miscellaneous furnishings for a house. He walks you back in and he shows you sort of a general layout of where he wants things. He notes, I'm not entirely certain how the living room's gonna look, so I mean, let's get stuff in place and maybe I'll ask you to move a few things around.
So there's a fair few very large items.
It varies.
Okay.
It varies from large to small.
Okay.
There's cushions and a couple boxes that you, picking them up, you can see that they have plates and that sort of stuff in it.
Okay.
So
Start with some of the bigger stuff in your living room then?
he nods. So the way that this is going to work is this is going to be a skill challenge.
Great.
What you're going to have to accomplish, there's going to be 5 challenges in total.
Okay.
Okay. Each individual can only accomplish 1 challenge. So you'll have to assign some of your Pokemon to accomplish the other ones, or all your Pokemon and not you guys, however you want to spread that out. And you tell me what skill you would like to use and how it would apply to whatever they're trying to do.
I think Jackson's probably just gonna hang back, knowing he's not the strongest person there, and is gonna be probably just like directing Billy and Rasputin with the larger stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
Brooke would aid
Machu.
with large stuff.
Yeah.
Because my strength is pretty good.
Then it could be maybe even you and Billy with the large
That's what I
stuff.
was thinking.
And you coach Billy through the large stuff, and then I just have
What's Billy's like athletic strength score?
his strength is like 18. Let me just double check.
Yeah, so I'd be aiding Billy with all of the really heavy shit. Because he's clumsy, but I'll aid him.
Okay, so
Rasputin could help with some of the bigger items that one person can kind of handle.
So for the first skill challenge, Jackson, you said you're doing something.
Yep.
What skill would you like to do, and how would you apply it to that?
I would probably, because he's just going to hang back and more give direction, because he knows that he's not the greatest with moving stuff, so he's probably going to try to use, like, either charisma to be able to give directions in a easy to follow way, or intelligence to, like, to help them maneuver themselves a little bit better.
Okay. What skill on that tree do you
What
figure that
skill
that
on
would
that
apply
tree? Ooh. For intelligence, probably like an investigation would make sense for that, because it's basically just how things are gonna fit through.
to? Yeah,
more so.
absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Give me an investigation roll for you.
Perfect. We'll
For
use the big one,
Jackson.
because this is a big roll. 21.
21. So that is a success. Bringing in the first couple items, you've already essentially spotted all the problems that you're going to encounter. This is going to be very narrow here, so you're going to have to watch out there. There's a little lip on the edge of the stairs here, so you're going to want to lift it up here. And each problem that they encounter, you've already figured out the solution for it.
Perfect.
So as Billy hoists this dresser, walking up the stairs, you catch him right before he topples it over the banister, anticipating that step was going to be a doozy, and you get into place. So
Perfect.
that is one success.
Okay. So each Pokemon or person can only do one.
Yeah.
So Jackson's done one.
Yep.
But I could aid Billy in carrying, and Billy could roll the athletics.
If you want Billy to just do pure grunt work and you want that to count towards athletics, absolutely.
Okay. So can Billy roll at advantage because Brooke would be aiding?
Nope, because you guys are each filling one function. So this would be Billy's task.
Okay.
So is it athletics?
Yep.
Yes. No, it's more than a +2.
Zombie.
Why aren't you calculating correctly? His
I'm sorry,
strength
baby, I'm
is an
uncomfortable.
18. That's a +4. Fitting. That's another 20 or a 22. 18 +4.
Excellent. You put Billy in charge of the largest items coming off of here. To your dismay, there's a full freezer in the back of this thing.
Oh, Billy's got it.
The crew puts their entire back into pushing it to the end of the truck. All of you gather under one end of it, and Billy grabs the other one by himself and leads you easily into the house, and you put it into the basement. That is a second success.
Okay. Does the individual have anything that would be hung or whatever?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, then Chimchar can use acrobatics to
Sure.
hang stuff up.
I like that. Yeah, you give Chimchar a hammer. You point to the wall where you want the nails driven, and
Stressed
he
out.
gets very excited. Roll me an acrobatics.
That's a 20.
Wonderful.
Like
With a handful
stressed
We're
of
really
out.
good at
nails,
this job, apparently.
it's almost like he just throws them into the air, and then in one swift leap, bouncing off the wall, smack, 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 smack. And there's a line of nails driven into the wall, and then it's a simple enough task for you to go in behind him and shoop, shoop, shoop. Apparently, there's a lovely family that's moving in here with 3 children and a other small dog Pokemon.
Okay, this is a weird one. So the guy was talking about how he didn't know how he wanted the living room set up.
Sure.
So I would like Ryulu
Mhm.
to read the auras of the people in the room to see what they're most satisfied with and work to feng shui the living room.
So that's going to be an insight check.
That's what I
like
was
that.
hoping for.
Yeah, as you guys are bringing stuff in,
I have an idea for the last one, too.
Ryolu is standing off to the side, and you're watching him. Ryolu watches this
It's a 12.
man. Okay. Ryolu watches this man, and you can see that he's studying him. And as you move the couch along one side, the man studies it. Ryolu studies him, and then he waves to you, and he's like, "Oh, oh, oh," and you drop the couch there, and the man says, "Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I wasn't sure, but yeah, that is exactly where I want that."
He's good at reading people, and I fist bump Ryolu.
I fist bumps you.
I would have high-fived Keegan.
And Ryolu helps you basically assemble the rest of the living room using this technique. That is 4 successes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess my question
One more
is,
challenge.
the only thing Brooke's good is really good at is brute strength. So do you have anything different?
Yeah, I got something that Rasputin can probably do.
Perfect.
What are you thinking?
Because he's got a pretty good... I mean, he's got decent dex, and the only way that I can think to rationale a stealth roll would be footwork. So if he's handling a lot of the smaller, more fragile stuff, and trying to maneuver through the house without just dropping it. Because it's not necessarily sleight of hand, because it's not trying to just maneuver it with his hands properly. It's all about footwork.
No, that's good. And I imagine that as he's bringing this in, not only is he carefully bringing it in, there's a lot of you working at the same time. So he's actually moving between your legs and inside. That's excellent.
So stealth will be a 23.
23. You hardly even notice that he's there. And as you get back and you're like, "Hey, Rasputin, you finished moving all those boxes?" You look in the back of the van and, "Oh, yeah, they're all gone." And Rasputin is standing on the front stoop going,
I'm going to give him some scritches for a job well done and long time no see. Rasputin even has a level of loyalty.
And just like that, perfect. You scored perfectly with 5 successes. It takes you a grand total of 6 hours to accomplish everything. So by the time you guys are staring at the empty cube van
6 o'clock at night
and sweating, it is now 6:30.
Perfect.
Closer to 7 because you took a bus ride here. The man smiles and he appreciates the job that you've done. You see him walk from room to room inspecting it, and he comes back and he says, "Well, I wish I had posted an ad for the last house I moved into. It took us a whole week to get everything in and unpacked. Yeah, job well done. Here you go. That's a full 1,200 Pokebucks for you guys, and well, I wish you luck on your journeys."
Perfect. Thank you,
Thank you.
so much.
He nods and he walks back up to his house. He waves one last time and closes the door behind him.
Beat. So that's 600 Pokebucks each. Just fast enough on the down key to not have the soundboard go nuts.
Alrighty. Okay, well, it's pushing 7.
What day of the week is it?
What day of the week is it? It is...
Because if it's a Sunday, the library might be closed.
No, it's middle of the weekish.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess what's the game plan? Are we going to see Molly and just hoping that we can convince the officers?
Yeah, we might as well go see Molly first. It's getting a little late already.
Yeah.
By the time we get out of the library, they might not be allowing people to come in.
What time did Axel hear things last night? Just gauging how much
Was it
time we
2?
might
It was
have.
a little after 2.
Okay. Well, if last night is any indication as to what time movements start to happen, I'd say as long as we're back by 11 midnight even, we might see more.
Maybe. But we also don't know how to get to the police station or how far away it's going to be by transit, so
Yeah, exactly.
better to go straight there and then come right back.
But if we do want to see the building, as long as we're there before,
Yeah.
I think we'll be okay.
Ask the bus driver before we get on the bus how long it is to get to the police station.
Okay, you step on. You note the police station you're looking for, and he suggests a route. It's going to take about 20 minutes to get there
Oh,
from
perfect.
where you are.
Thank you. Take us to the police station.
You guys end up doing one transfer, but you get to the police station more or less on time. It now being a little after 7:20.
On the bus ride, I would just like to talk to both Liam and Keegan about how good of job they did and
Okay.
hype them up.
Okay, what do you say?
No. Guys, I was really proud of you with your work today. You guys worked hard and did a really, really good job.
The small chimp Pokemon looks at you and he goes, "Ooh, ooh,
Yeah, you were all over those walls.
ooh, 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 ooh,
It was great. And Liam, like, you read the room. You, like, feng shuied the shit out of that place.
The whole time you were praising the Chimchar, he was looking at the Chimchar like mouth open, and then you start talking to him, and he slowly clues in that you're talking to him, and he's like,
You guys did a really great job.
oh. The Chimchar is already clued out, picking his nose.
Great teamwork. I would like to say that every time Chimchar wipes his boogers on me, I do take time to clean my shirt.
And just gradually accumulating boogers and then not
Yeah,
doing laundry.
I'm not just accumulating boogers on my
Not
shirt.
wearing the
like,
crustiest
I'm
shirt.
like, na like scrape them off every time I'm in the bathroom, wash my shirt, you know.
Chimchar's definitely got this sort of sweet smile that's got like nothing behind it. And when
Make
you're
fun
talking
of
to
my
him, it's
Chimchar.
like he's taking it in, but you're not sure how much is like registering up there.
I know. you're
He appreciates
dumb, I
the tone
get
of
it.
voice,
If
much like a dog.
you
Yeah.
like reach towards him, he like touches your hand.
You guys were a great team. We were a great team. All of us.
He touches Ryolu's face, and Ryolu's like, "Whoa, whoa," pushes him away. Chimchar just looks away.
And we won't be giving everybody scritches.
I told you
I'm gonna
he
have them
likes you.
all out on the bus.
All out on the bus. It's fairly cramped, and you see a number of other people who are sitting in other seats, just looking at you guys curiously, watching all your Pokemon.
They
Not
did
that you're
good
the
work
only
today.
Pokemon.
I would like to say that when Chimchar and Ryulu are both out,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not giving more love to one than the other, but I am giving reassurance to Liam consistently with my body language or
Uh-huh.
actions.
Do you want me to have a talk with him?
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, Liam? You want to have a little powwow?
Looks at you. Oh.
Deep connection.
Typically, Liam's the one to read people. You know that when he looks at you, it's almost like he's looking past you or to something deeper. He reads you, but now you're reading
Now
him.
Brooke is jealous.
And you hear him in a way that you can put to immediate words.
What's he gonna sound like?
And he says, "Humph.
How's it going, Liam?
Good, I guess."
Got a little jealousy?
What? No. Not me. It's a
Seem-
dumb Chimchar.
What makes you think he's a dumb Chimchar?
I mean, he is.
Well, look at him. Like. But. Yeah.
You know that Brooke still loves you a lot, right?
I don't care. It's fine. You know. Whatever.
She doesn't love the Chimchar more than you.
It's probably not true.
No, it's true. I see the way she looks at you. And she's always making sure to give you reassurance and make sure that you're happy and your well-being is her first priority.
Yeah, well, she has to, because, like, I'm her first Pokemon. But look at him. Like, just look at him. And Chimchar's sitting on the seat, and he's, like, playing with a little piece of gum underneath the seat cushion.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't compete with that.
Why do you think you have to compete with that?
No.
You don't have to compete with that. You just have to trust that Brooke loves you. There's no competition necessary to get her affection.
Maybe now.
No.
Who knows later?
So, Chimchar is the manifestation of being replaced by more Pokemon with every Pokemon I catch?
You know you're always going to be her number one.
You don't know that.
No, I think I do.
How could you know that?
Because I talk to her all the time, and, well, she's always worried more about you than pretty well anything else.
Guess.
I think she doesn't laud as much affection onto you as she does Chimchar right now, just because she knows that you can take care of yourself, and, well, he's got a birth defect. He just requires a little more TLC.
Yeah, I guess. But what if I were to get hurt?
Well, she'd care for you. She would be devastated if you got hurt.
Oh, well, I don't want that.
She feels bad enough as is when you go into fights and you get yourself hurt. Even if she wants you to do your best and she wants you to win, seeing you get hurt isn't easy for her.
She doesn't have to worry about that.
Oh, but she does.
I'm good. I can take it.
Oh, she knows, but she worries anyways because she loves you. And you worry about the people you care about, regardless of whether or not you know they're capable.
Shrugs. Sighs.
Just want to make sure that you're doing okay, because I know she's worried about you right now.
I'm fine. But, like, could you take the Chimchar or something? like somewhere away. Or, like, put it in one of those balls and put it in the computer.
Why should I do that, though?
I think it would make me feel good.
But then if she brings it back, it's just going to make you feel worse again.
Not if you take it.
I think it's an important Pokemon for Brooke to have. You remember what... She's told you about what she used to do, right? With her family?
Yeah.
The Pokemon rehabilitation? You could see why this would maybe remind her of home.
I don't want to remember home. I want this. I want now.
Well, she's living in the now too, but you have to look back on your past and figure out what to do with it. That's entirely what I've been doing this whole time.
I want her to stay here with me.
Well, she
I
will.
don't want her to remember home. I don't want her to go home.
What if she took you home with her? You could meet her family and all the other Pokemon that they have there. I don't think that you not being by her side is an issue you have to worry about.
He looks away.
I just want to give you the reassurance that I'm pretty sure you're stuck with her.
Okay.
You like it or not?
Fine.
Just maybe try to tone down the jealousy a little bit. Because I know that she's trying her best to make sure that you guys get along.
I mean, it's not like I care that much. It's like whatever, you know.
Guess just gotta make it weird. It's just a girl and her dog.
It was just super soon today.
Look, and I know you're weird and stuff. So like don't tell her. Or like, I'll hate you forever.
I'm sure she already knows. She's intuitive that way.
Also very obvious.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh. He looks away.
Okay, I won't tell her, but in return, I want you to promise me that you'll try to get along with not just Chimchar, but the rest of her Pokemon that she has as well.
Roll a persuasion.
Come on, big money, no whammies. Nat 20.
He rolls his eyes.
You got the
You're
nat 20 roll
heavy.
this game. It was
I've gotten
me last game.
3.
Last game I got like 4, remember? You're on the roll this time.
Holy shit.
He goes, fine. But I mean, like, if you ever want to take him, I'll help. So, like, whatever.
If it comes to that, I'll be sure to let her know. Thanks,
What?
Liam.
Why is Liam Salvador?
Yeah.
But my mom can't love somebody else. My
Yeah.
Pokemon reflects my dog in real life, apparently.
Yeah.
He looks at you, and then he looks down at Brooke a couple chairs down. He
I'd like to think
walks over to her.
that
Chimchar
Brooke
is like
was a
sitting
little
on her
bit
lap.
jealous that Jackson can actually talk to Liam, so she just kind of sat.
Hannah, I talked to
Like,
Liam before I talked to Billy when he evolved.
I know.
I haven't talked to Billy yet. As a Citadel.
Oh, yeah. Looking out the window and fell asleep on the bus.
I imagine Chimchar is probably sitting in your lap right now, just looking around, watching things go by out the window. And Liam climbs up on the seat next to you and climbs up onto your lap and sits next to Chimchar, who looks at him. And Riolu puts his arm around the Chimchar, and the Chimchar looks at him.
I'm going
picks
to
his
try to
nose
very
and smears it on Liam.
I'm
and
going to try to
Liam's like,
very stealthily take a picture
"Oh."
because she's
She's
asleep right now.
cringing.
Brooke's legs heads on the glass.
I am very stealthily trying to take a picture with the Pokedex.
Give me a sleight of hand check.
Hell yeah, this is going to be great. Ooh, that's a modified 2.
Okay. As you go to click the picture, Liam notices, and this is when the levee breaks, and the Chimchar is just about to like smear a second booger on his chest, and Liam's like, so the picture you get is pretty much like Liam assaulting the Chimchar and pushing him off her lap and onto the floor.
And delete. I just ruined a pure moment.
The bus eventually comes to a stop, and the bus driver actually turns around and he says, "You two,
Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. Thank you.
Unit 5,
Thank you.
here's you off the bus."
There you go, guys.
Each of them slowly gets up. Liam stands up and nods at you. The Chimchar's on the ground picking himself up and goes,
Did you fall?
scratches his head.
Oh, come
Looks
on,
up at
guys.
you.
And I lift them both up.
Okay.
Just kind of hold them like
Tote them off the bus.
Yeah.
I'm not telling her.
All of your Pokemon eventually file off the bus, and the bus like shakes as Billy steps off. And you are on the sidewalk in front of this police station. It's old, brick. Each of the windows have iron bars over them, and there's a number of cop cruisers that are parked out front, as well as a couple motorcycles.
Well, shall we?
Yeah. I hope Molly's okay.
I hope so. We never got her last name, but hopefully they know who we talk about when we say Molly with the Gligar.
Hopefully, yeah. You want to head in for a sec?
Sure. I'll head in.
We'll put the Chimchar away for a sec.
You step inside, and
I put Chimchar away, And I'm gonna talk to Liam for a sec.
Oh, okay.
Do you have a good talk with Jackson?
Liam shrugs.
You know, I get jealous too, you know. I mean, I can do cool things and all, I guess. Jackson can talk to his Pokemon. You don't think I wish I could have had that conversation with you?
He puts a hand on your knee.
It was hard to see Jackson be able to talk to you and I can't. Not really, anyway.
He just looks at you.
I just
Hand on your knee.
wipe a tear away and say, anyway, let's go see if Molly's okay, okay?
Nods, but doesn't say anything.
And I walk into the...
Okay. He looks up at you, Jackson. And he falls in behind you. And catches up to you and reaches for your hand.
I take his hand.
Roll for adorable.
Stepping inside this building, there's a fair bit of activity in here. You're immediately inside of a bit of a lobby, but it's divided into parts. One seems to be people here voluntarily, and the other side of the lobby seems to be people who are here not by choice.
Of course.
They are in handcuffs. They are sat in various seats. Most of these people look fairly untowards. You see one man who looks like he's probably had a bit to drink already. He's not really causing any problems, but he's mumbling to himself. A couple other individuals who look to be fairly hurt, but not in a fatal or bad way, just mostly bruised. And they keep shooting dirty looks to each other. There are about 2 seats between them at this point in time. An officer steps out from another door leading to the back and picks up one of the men, hauls him to his feet, and pushes him through the door. There is a desk behind a sheet of or pane of glass with little holes in it, and a woman is sitting behind it.
Walk up to the desk.
Okay. She notes that you're there, and she says, "How can I help you?"
We were told we could come here to collect, I guess, a friend, an acquaintance.
She looks up at you. "Who are you here to see?"
It's Molly. Don't know her last name, never got it, but she had a Gligar problem, I guess.
"What relation are you to her?"
Acquaintance. We met her yesterday, but
The police picked her up when she was with us. We're just concerned.
wanted to come and check up on her.
She shuffles a couple papers in front of her, puts them down, pushes her chair back, stands up, and she walks away from the desk. You can see her leave the little room that she's in and disappear. There's a couple minutes, and she comes back and she says, "All right, you can have a few minutes with her. I'll ring
Perfect.
you in."
Thank you.
You hear the sound of a buzzer. Bzzz. Sound of something unlocking, and then an officer is standing at the door where one of the roughed up individuals was hauled through, and he motions to you two.
We'll follow.
He leads you past a row of desks. Back here, there's a lot of people. Most of them appear to be working at computers, shuffling various bits of paperwork. You walk by an office, and there's a man there with a set of golf clubs. He putts a ball. You hear him curse as he leaves your vision. A couple other individuals are sitting on top of their desk shooting the shit, and they note you as you two go by. This officer that is leading you leads you to an area past this and through a set of barred doors. In here, the atmosphere is very different. In the back corner somewhere, bouncing off the cement walls, the lighting lower, the room divided into a number of different cells. You can hear a guy going,
Does it sound like another language or like he's drunk?
Like he's drunk.
Okay.
You walk past the first cell, and a man leers out at you and winks at Brooke. You walk past another
She's
one.
underaged.
You walk past another one, and there are a large number of people in here. All of them sitting quietly, just watching you pass. Most of them trying not to make eye contact with another. And then you get to the next one. In this one, there are 3 individuals, one of which is Molly, and she's sitting there. She's got her arms to either side, holding herself, and trying desperately not to look at anybody else and just mind her own business.
Hey, Molly.
She looks up and she says, "Oh, thank God. Hey, dudes.
Hey.
How's it hanging?"
Okay.
She stands up and she walks towards the bar and puts a hand on either side.
Are
the
you okay?
police officer that led you in steps back and stands against the wall. He holds up his watch to his eyes and he says, "You got a few minutes."
Are you okay, Molly?
She says, that bitch cop took all my Pokemon, locked them up, took my trainer card.
We're trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
They said they'll take my trainer card. They said they'll put Gligar down.
We won't let them do
Did they-
that.
Okay,
That if that bitch touches Gligar,
we won't let them do that, but did they give a time frame?
I don't know. They said they were investigating. I haven't seen my Pokemon since last night.
We know that it's not your Gligar causing the issues, obviously. There was another woman in the
We're pretty sure it's not a
apartment complex that
Gligar
was
at all.
attacked, and yeah, I'm pretty sure it's not even a Gligar.
We tried to call the professor to see if she could tell us if a Gligar would do that,
And
or if
her
there
s-
was anything
yeah.
in the area.
And her assistant said it wouldn't be a Gligar.
Said it's not possible.
I don't think they care.
We'll give them what information we can when we leave, and we're gonna probably stake out that apartment
Again?
tonight and see if we can get video evidence of whatever it is.
Try and catch it.
We're gonna do our best to clear your name.
Why are you helping me?
Because you don't seem like a bad person to me.
Can I get you in trouble?
No, it's fine.
We've done worse.
Yeah, we've been in trouble before. This isn't.
They cop made a comment when we were in the car. Said I smell like weed. Did we smoke that last one? Huh?
Yeah, probably. Look at the cop and see who's listening.
He's not paying much attention. He's got his cell phone out.
Yeah,
You
probably.
can hear the sound of blink, blink.
Yeah,
He's like,
probably a good thing.
"Yes."
We got that done before.
She goes, I've never been arrested before.
I understand. We're doing what we can. I'll stay up every night if I have to.
Yep,
Thanks, guys.
no problem.
I don't know how to repay you.
You don't have to. Just be safe.
And when we get you out of here, come fishing with us.
Exactly.
She
We'll build
smiles.
another sandcastle.
That'd be nice.
And hopefully we
That'd be
won't
cool.
destroy it accidentally this time.
Yeah, hopefully
get a
this
nice
time we
picture.
can actually get a picture. We can have one for fun, jokey memories and one good, completed picture.
Sounds like fun. Sounds like a good time.
Okay? Just keep your chin up and know that you don't have to play tough.
I think I do. If I let my guard down here, you know. Gotta be the big dude. You know.
What do the other people like surrounding her look like?
Yeah.
Who she's kind of sequestered with?
Sure. One woman, long,
sounds
stringy
beautiful.
hair. You can see small pock marks up one of her arms. She's sitting there, sort of twitching a little bit. As you're looking over at her, she looks up at you and kind of smiles. Most of the teeth in her mouth are broken or decayed.
Whoa.
She sort of waves at you. The other woman on the other side is larger in both sense. Heavy set, but she's also got some muscle definition. She's crossing her arms, and she hasn't really looked at you or Molly or the other woman. She's just kind of looking down every now and then. She humps.
Yeah, just play it safe and we'll get you out soon.
Nods.
Do you feel like you could talk to a cop?
Yeah,
I can't.
I'll just talk to him.
Okay. Grab Molly's hand.
Okay. As you do so, the cop looks over. He says, "Hey, no touching."
I ignore him. Say, we'll get you out. And then I let go.
He
Just wanted
moves
to touch her
to-
for reassurance.
He moves to remove you, and he says, "All right, that's enough. Time's up."
Yep.
And he back towards the exit.
Head that way.
comply.
He walks behind you and starts moving you back towards the front lobby.
Follow.
Okay.
Is there a young man? Is there a place where I can report an incident or evidence or?
Yeah, he stops and he grabs a piece of paper off of one of the desks and he hands it to you.
Oh, sure. You just want me to write it down?
You can see that it's a form.
Oh.
It is a miscellaneous incident report. There's a number of different check boxes, comment section, that sort of thing.
Okay. I'll go sit down somewhere and fill out the form.
I'll see you to the lobby.
Thank you.
Is there means in this room to have a video call with a person? I wanted to attempt to call the professor again.
Yeah, there are actually, closer to the cells that you just went by, there are coin-operated machines on the wall.
How much does it cost?
Cost you 10 Pokebucks.
Okay, I'm gonna attempt to call the professor again.
Okay.
She's notable, she's well-known and
A Pokemon
important,
professor.
and she could potentially write a formal letter stating that a Gligar wouldn't do that to release Molly. So Brooke's gonna try again.
So you put in 10 Pokebucks.
Mm-hmm.
You click a few buttons. The Pokeball spins. This machine is, if it's possible, older and more decrepit than the ones in the Pokemon centers.
Older and more decrepit than Jackson.
It's seen a lot of wear and a lot of use. And as the screen pops up, you see the professor there, but there's a number of pixels that are dead.
Oh my
and
god, thankfully it's you.
She smiles and she says, "Oh, hey, it's Brooke. This is the second time you called today. I was out this morning. I had some errands to run."
I know, it's really important, and unfortunately Douglas was less than helpful.
You can see her craning her neck around. She says, "My lord, you haven't been arrested, have you?"
No, but
I can't take that again. I can't have another
No,
trainer under.
no, Professor, it's not me, it's not Jackson.
Oh,
Okay,
good.
young woman, just a little older than me, was arrested last night. We were with her. They wouldn't tell us what she was arrested for, but we've come to find that she's been arrested for something that we are pretty sure she could not have been capable of doing, and I need you to help her before an innocent Pokemon dies.
Oh, that's horrible. Of course, I'll help in any way that I can. I'm so sorry I missed your call this morning, and you haven't been locked up. Like, you haven't been in the police.
No, but Molly
time.
has.
Molly.
They're accusing her, or we believe they're accusing her, of having her Gligar basically drain life and blood out of people in an apartment building. Now, Douglas told us that Glygars aren't capable of that, but they're gonna kill her Gligar, and they're gonna arrest her and take her Pokemon training card away if we can't help her. And I was hoping that maybe you could call the department, or write a very formal letter, or give them any kind of evidence that a Gligar wouldn't do that, or couldn't do that.
Douglas is, as usual, quite right. There's no chance that a Gligar is... I mean, there's been plenty of occasions of Gligar clamping onto people's faces, stinging them. They're quite poisonous, you know, but biting and specifically the drinking of blood, that is very unlike Gligar's behavior. Now, I mean, if there's a new behavior being noted here, or I mean, you brought forward the Bonsly acting in such a way that is not typical or before documented.
Her Gligar clung to my face, but he stuck his tongue out at me and Jackson. He didn't sting us. I don't think her Gligar is even capable of doing what they're claiming, and they're gonna put it down.
Have you seen this Pokemon?
Yeah. He was on my face, Professor.
What about the Pokemon who done it?
Jackson and I camped out all night last night outside the building. Axel heard something, but Jackson and I couldn't see it. It attacked another woman last night. I know it attacked another woman last night, and so does Jackson.
She nods.
It's still out there. We don't know what it is. We're gonna pull an all-nighter again tonight, but in the meantime, they're gonna put this Pokemon down.
Well, where are you?
What is the police
Serene
station?
City, Unit 5.
Okay, it's the Serene City,
Or 5th unit, I guess.
the
is what they
5th
call it.
unit is where she's locked up. Her name's Molly. I don't know her last name, and her Gligar.
She smiles weakly and she says, "All right, I see what I can do."
Even if you can just buy them time, convince them enough that it couldn't have been a Gligar.
She nods. She says, "Bless your sweetheart. I will do everything that I can. I don't have a lot of pull with local law enforcement, but..."
No, but you're credible.
Yes. Yes, I am. Thank you. Thank you.
She says that like people don't say it all the time.
More credible than we realized. Apparently, you just don't take on regular Pokemon trainers. One day I need to understand why you took on me and Jackson. But I appreciate it, and thank you.
Of course. Yes. All right. I have to go.
Bye.
We'll talk soon.
Yes, bye.
The screen goes blank.
I walk over to Jackson, who I'm assuming is filling out paperwork.
Yeah. Trying his best to recall the events of the previous night through exhaustion and Alzheimer's.
Through exhaustion and Alzheimer's. So, your intention is to
basically write down a report of what it is that I heard and saw the previous night. And yeah, more specifically, because I didn't see the Pokemon, but I saw the woman clutching her neck and wheezing, much like the other woman, Kiona or whatever.
Kiono?
You were very close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very close. Jackson would not be.
Excellent. Okay. Can I get you to give me a persuasion roll?
Yeah.
Just to note the type of verbiage that you're using. Obviously, this is to a purpose.
Yeah.
I'm kind of just assuming your intent here.
That's a 14.
14. Okay. You fill out a good report. It is perfunctory in all accounts. It was just the other night, so the events are fresh in your memory and you record them as to what occurred. The language isn't too frilly, but you're assuming you're getting your intention across. The police officer
So
watches
does
you
the
do that.
vacuum.
And he says, "I can take that, sir."
Thank you.
He takes it. He walks a few feet down and he puts it into a box on the wall.
Jackson, I got a hold of the professor.
Perfect.
She's gonna do what she can. She agrees that it would be very out of character for a Gligar.
Oh, perfect.
So her credibility will hopefully buy us some time, if not help Molly.
I hope so, yes.
time is it?
You guys have been here for a while now. Between him filling out the report, your phone call, and your speech with Molly, I'd say you're probably on 8 o'clock.
Okay. We still got a decent amount of time before it starts getting super late. We can either try and swing by a library or just go investigate the area.
Or do we want to go back to the Pokemon Center? We have a couple of flying Pokemon that might be able to be up closer to the apartment, not causing any disturbances, but keeping a closer eye.
Shuppet can literally be in, like, visible. Yes, let's go back.
Go into the Pokemon Center.
Okay. The Pokemon Center is fairly close here, this being the downtown unit. So it's a few blocks from your location, and you are there. You make it there in maybe 15 minutes.
I'm sorry, Ozzy. I need to get comfy. Oh.
I will swap out Ziggy for Shuppet for now, because I want to keep Axel in my party, and I want to keep Chimchar and Liam in my party for now.
I will swap out Machu with Dandy.
I can't wait till we can have 6 Pokemon.
Yeah, I have 2 other flyers, but I also don't want to just get rid of... Oh, Angus is still in my party, but...
Oh, yeah. My bad. There you go.
And...
So that's the team you wanted? Hoppip, Raticate, Mawile, Sudowoodo?
Well, let's get rid of Ratsputin, and
Okay.
let's bring in... Who do I want? Do I want Sterling? Or do I want... Oh, what did I name the Ladybug? What did I name
And
him?
Melissa, you're good with the Riolu, Chimchar, Shuppet,
Yeah,
Electric?
I'm not putting Keegan in the box anytime soon. I will never put Liam in the box, and I need Axel.
Why did I name you 2B? There's a pun there. I know there is.
Which one did you name 2B?
Ladybug.
Can I just move your box?
I'm trying to figure out
Don't
why.
run.
I know there was a pun there some. You know what? Yeah, let's bring out 2B. Put back Ratsputin and bring out 2B.
Okay.
Why the fuck did I name you 2B? There's... God damn it. I know there's a pun there.
Okay. So, yeah, making your way to the boxes, you swap out your Pokemon. You now have a brand new team each.
Rusty Pokemon's gonna go hide out by somebody's house. That's gonna get mean shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
This time it's probably 8:30.
Make our way back to the apartment. And on the bus, I'm going to have 2B out, and I'm going to try spending a little time just getting to know her.
Okay. This is the first time you've brought this Pokemon out
Yeah.
before. This basically gigantic ladybug Pokemon with these great big sparkling eyes. As it's released from its ball, it shadow boxes the air.
Well, you've got
And
some
flies
spunk.
around, looking around. Looks over at you.
As we walk towards the area, Jackson, do you remember how far the 2 apartments were apart?
Was it in the same building, kind of just around a corner, or was it in a different building?
They were 2 separate buildings.
Okay.
Separated by a couple blocks.
It was a couple of blocks away. Different building.
So how do we want to do this?
I can probably stake out the apartment with everyone that I have. Might be the best way to go about that. And then you take... You might want to just...
I mean, Vex can practically camp out invisible.
That's fair. Vex could even patrol.
Around which building?
maybe between both. It's only 2 blocks, right? So we could even just pace back and forth between them.
That is true.
You set Dandy and Tubi on a little bit of a...
Flyabout.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe Tubi.
I mean, Axel probably will have...
Is it a bee pun?
Do one of us want to stand at one end of the block, the other at the other end of the block, so our Pokemon are between us and nobody can accuse our Pokemon of doing anything
Sure.
shady? I mean, we are kind of being shady, but for good intentions.
I'll hang out by the apartment with the couple, and you hang out by the other apartment?
Sure. Okay. So Brooke will position herself near, with Jackson's instruction of showing like where the one room it was from that lady. Position herself at that block.
Okay. And you're positioning yourself at the other block with your original victim?
Yep.
Okay. So, you guys set up. It's about 9 o'clock. What is your plan? How are you setting this up?
Shuppet will do like stealth basically because he's a ghost Pokemon. You've said before he can pretty much turn invisible.
Pretty damn close, yeah.
Yeah. So he'll patrol between the two, kind of watching for Pokemon very stealthily. And maybe even occasionally like flying up because he has the stealthy feet, so he can be like undetected in an open space. He'll like fly up close to the window, trying to like really be visible and take a look, and then kind of back around and kind of keep doing that. And Axel will be told that he'll stay generally with me and Liam, smelling around and listening for the sound. But if he hears something in a direction between me and Jackson, if it's a different direction, to notify me first. But if it's between me and Jackson, to just go.
Sure.
To either notify Jackson or me, depending on who it's closest to.
Okay.
Because he's fast.
Yeah. And I'll have Billy out helping me Billy and Maui out helping me keep an eye out on the ground. And then I'll have Tubi and Dandy kind of flying just back and forth, kind of
Doing
in
some
a little
patrols.
patrol route. Yeah.
Okay.
Just kind of between the two buildings.
And Liam will
trying
just
to
stay
keep
with me looking.
Trying to keep as low a profile as they can.
Okay. Can I get them each to roll perception?
Yep.
Or one of them with advantage.
All right.
Because they're helping each other. With you, first give me a stealth roll for your Shuppet.
23.
Wicked. Then give me a perception roll for Shuppet with advantage.
With advantage?
Yes, because it is unseen.
So it can get real close?
It's basically like right on top of where you're watching. Unseen.
That's nat 20 number 4 for the night. Another 18 and a 20.
That's a modified 20 for Shuppet's perception. So 20, what did I say? 23 for stealth, 20 for perception?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's 2B that got that perception check.
Nice.
So it's a 21. Oh no, just a 20. Doesn't get a modifier.
So, here is
I will also instruct Vex that if he sees a Pokemon exiting a building, that he is to engage it almost immediately with a screech to notify us, as well as alarm the horrible creature that is doing this.
So, here's what happens.
And I'll give Dandy similar instructions, but with a... What do you have that you could do, actually? With a... Fairy Wind.
And I guess for the sake of this, like, Liam will be out with me, Axel will be out doing his investigation stuff. But I will also keep Chimchar out, just because situationally I don't know what will happen. But Shuppet, I guess, will be my active, because if it's going to be the one that is immediately instructed to engage.
Yeah, the same with Dandy will be my active.
Because they've been instructed to engage if they see Pokemon.
Engage.
Yeah.
Okay. Given the fact that you've instructed essentially Pokemon to hold actions, I would argue that Shuppet is your active.
That's what I said.
Hoppip is your active.
Yep, that's what we said.
Okay.
I said
I
Shuppet.
thought you said Liam for a second and
No,
Billy.
no.
Okay.
No, I said Shuppet. I said that Liam is out and so is the Chimchar, just because if it's like descends to ground, I will literally be like, "Hey, Chimchar!" like, or Liam, right? And I'll switch. But Shuppet will be my active because it's been told to engage if.
Yeah.
Whereas none of my other Pokemon have it.
Okay. So here's what happens. You guys sit watch. From street level, you're pretty well shadowed between the street lights. It's not super well lit in this area. It's not a super nice neighborhood, but there's a fair bit of activity, passing cars and whatnot. You watch as a number of people enter and exit the building, and that stream of people gets less and less and less as the night gets later. Similarly, you do too. You see the light come on in the one apartment that you're watching, and it stays on well to 11:30, and then it shuts off. You note that a woman walks by you, enters the building. A few minutes later, the light turns on in the apartment you're watching. It's on from about 12 to 1, and then it turns off. At about 1:30, Shuppet suddenly screeches.
Where do I see him?
Or hear him.
So based on his stealth roll, you don't see Shuppet,
Well, when
but Shuppet is up essentially right underneath the balcony of the apartment you were staking out.
When he screeches, though, wouldn't that give away his position, break his stealth?
More or less, yeah.
Okay.
So you know exactly where he is. As that happens, you see a dark shape take off and fly directly upwards and away from the apartments.
Okay. I just immediately like, Jackson! And then I'm like, start pursuing with Axel, and I'm like, Axel, keep an eye on it! Shuppet, let's go! And like, all start running down the street.
Yep. And I'll Pokeball.
I'll probably pop in...
everybody but Dandy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'll probably pop in the Chimchar for now. And, well, no, I guess he'll just climb onto me.
So the problem here is that as you guys are yelling, say you're on this street that's running this way, okay? You're watching the building that's across the street here. Jackson's watching the building across the street here. The apartment you're watching is up here. This Pokemon has flown up and this way.
Over top of the building.
Over top
Away
of the
from
building.
kind of
So
more towards
it
where I'm going.
immediately breaks your
But
line of
Shuppet
sight.
will pursue.
Yep.
And
But
Dandy was
stealthily.
instructed to attack if she saw it as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So
She?
I tell
based on Dandy's perception, Dandy sees Shuppet take off over the building and pursue Shuppet. Shuppet being the closest.
I scream at him to pursue stealth.
Yeah. Pursues stealth. If it this other Pokemon is moving very quickly, just note if Shuppet is moving at stealth.
Okay,
It's moving
then
at
to
half
say
speed.
stealth if you need to. So he will like basically rogue style disengage and hide if he needs to, like if it becomes an aggressor,
Okay.
to return back and get me if that's the case.
What is Shuppet and Hoppip's fly speed?
Hoppips is 20.
25.
20 and 25.
I should have brought out Archer. Or
And
was it Sterling?
Axel's trying to catch its scent as we pursue on the ground.
Okay. So you lose immediate sight of all of the Pokemon as they head over top of the apartment building and take off. They are heading in an eastward direction. You catch the next alleyway and you start breaking east as best as you can, and you guys keep running.
Does Axel pick up its scent at all? Because he would have smelt it the night before or heard it. Can he hear or smell it and keep me in pursuit.
Give me a perception check.
Is that 10?
Your Electrike is just as blind as you are. It's basically running, following you.
Okay. I'll call him back then
Mhm.
when I see that he looks confused. I will also call back Chimchar.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Liam will just full, like, tilt just in
Okay.
the direction that we saw it go.
Yeah, Liam is like Naruto running behind you. Arms behind his back. Jackson.
I'm doing pretty much the same thing. I'm trying to keep an eye on Dandy and just running.
Okay. Again, you two lose immediate eyesight as the Pokemon disappears over top, but it seems to be in pursuit. You didn't see the initial Pokemon, so you don't know how quickly it's leaving or if you're making good on your chase.
But I would catch up to Dandy relatively quickly because movement speed 30 versus movement speed 20.
You would if Dandy didn't have a straight shot
Fair.
over the roofs where you have to dodge and weave between buildings. You're taking the quickest path and straightest path that you can, but you're not traveling as the Dandy do. That being said, as you guys run, give me a Constitution save
Yup.
as you just book it through town.
For me and Liam.
A 10.
Yeah, everyone who's run.
Okay.
10,
I should pick
not
2
bad.
different colored dice. Okay. Well, that was a okay for Brooke because Brooke rolled a 9. Liam's got a 20.
Wow. Brooke, that lack of sleep is catching up to you.
Yeah.
And you're starting
It's 2
to
days
lose
now.
Yep.
speed. But Jackson's catching up to you. And Ryolu is slowing down just to like...
Keep going,
keep
Shuppet.
running.
We'll need you.
Jackson, you're doing great.
Perfect.
You're keeping perfect stride. It's like that adrenaline is kicking in. You guys continue to run. And
I would
Eventually
like
the
to say
buildings.
too, this
Mhm.
is really dumb. Are there smaller buildings or are they like real big?
so they were all big, but now they're starting to get smaller. You notice that as you're moving through this, you're moving into one, an older part of town, but secondly, not as developed part of town. You see that now you're moving through a few residential buildings. Old ones that have fallen down. You run by an old school that could definitely use some more upkeep.
Are the houses relatively close together?
Decently so, yeah.
I only
Old growth trees.
I only ask because I would not instruct Liam to do this unless I felt it necessary, but
Mm-hmm.
because he's keeping like pace in front of me,
Mhm.
and he's got the athlete feet.
Yep.
Is there means now that the buildings are smaller that he could like Naruto across the roofs and jump through trees and shit?
There's still streets that are separating houses, so not nearly as much, but it doesn't matter because eventually you actually come to a stop as you see Shuppet and Hoppet both drifting through the air, flying towards you two. You three.
Stop and catch my breath. Did you see where it went, Vex?
He smiles and goes,
How about you, Dandy?
Dandy looks a little disappointed, wiggling his tail.
Maybe I'm just not reading people right now, but does that mean no or yes, Liam? Can you tell by Vex's emotions?
Liam nods.
He did see? He did see where it went?
And Dandy didn't with a
thank
nat
God.
20? And a faster fly speed? No, slower. Never mind.
Slower.
Okay. Vex, lead us there.
Vex starts to slowly drift further down the street.
And Dandy follow Vex.
Do I have exhaustion now?
You don't.
Oh, okay. Just tired from running.
the next couple blocks change dramatically in that it suddenly becomes very foggy. You look and you see that this is a neighborhood that is fairly close to the water of the lake, and the mist coming off the lake in the middle of the night is drifting in through the neighborhoods. And then you see a sight that sort of chills you. In front of you are wrought iron bars that kind of go upwards 6-ish feet and in spikes, with river rock that lines the bottom of it. Your eye follows it to a large ornamental gate that is chained close. Behind it, you see gravestones. And between the mist, you see an old chapel.
Of course, it would be a ghost Pokemon.
Is that what?
No
when?
offense, Vex.
Vex?
Looks back at you.
Liam?
Liam nods. Ooh, ooh.
Okay. Is there means to get in?
There may be, but that's probably a good place to end it for tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. I'm sure there's something in that ungodly multi-tool that Jackson has.
Oh, yeah.
Just a bolt cutter attachment.
Too bad Sassy's not here to pick a lock.
Yeah.
Proficiency in sleight of hand.
Although couldn't Shuppet just like phase through it and then just manipulate the lock to open it?
I don't know.
Does Shuppet have that fine of motor control over what parts of it are ethereal when?
I mean, pretty much all of my Pokemon are dex-based Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like, everyone. I have a dex-based fighting team. Like, that's basically what I have.
Well, it does have a saw and twine, so with enough time and gumption, we could make it through that.
I did not count
Maybe.
my dice.
All right, so that was episode 23 of Pokemon D&D, Wundoro Adventure.
The Halloween special is happening right now.
Somehow.
In June.
Halloween in June. Anything you guys would like to say for yourselves?
I'm such a sap. I would just love to play D&D one time and not cry.
Yeah.
Such a baby.
No, this was a good one. It was kind of funny getting to talk to Liam and see him be super soon today. Because he definitely is.
Just a little.
Yeah. It doesn't have to imply a romantic relationship at all, just as a friend dynamic even.
Just like, he's like Salvador. I'm giving attention to one of the cats. Salvador's like, no, 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 me, me.
But Mom, my head's right here.
Yeah.
She just goes,
All right, so thank you again to Joe the DM for this homebrew that we were playing. You can find out more about that at www.pokemon5e.com. If you're listening to the archive, all of this will be linked below, including Kevin McLeod of Incompetech.com for what you're listening to right now. Thank you to Mikkel_Beats for the Pokemon Chill soundtrack, of which you heard as well. And thank you to the Lighter Arts on Twitter for the player tokens, which we didn't get to use this time. No encounters, surprisingly.
no.
Not from lack of trying.
No, we decided not to fight the cops.
That's right.
Even though I really wanted to. It was too close.
You also decided not to fight the Slowpoke.
Yeah. It was
The cop
just
thing was
chilling.
too real right now, Steven.
I typically plan these like a lot ahead, so it's very much so coincidence.
Yeah.
It was too real. I was like, no police brutality in my Pokemon game. Fuck that.
Yeah. Anything else? Anything at all?
No, we'll see you guys tomorrow night for Code Vein. Other than that,
Ooh.
And right now the world is crazy, so please
Stay safe.
Please stay safe.
That's right.
And take care of
Sounds
yourself.
Like an excellent send-off. there's anybody out there who you think would like this program, please tell them about it. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think.
Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff.
Tell me how crazy I am for crying every episode. Yeah.
Tell me how crazy I am for playing a 72-year-old man who forgets everything all the time.
And tell me how crazy I am for playing with these two.
Yep.
That's all I got.
All right. Ciao, guys.
Good night, everyone.